Well, good morning, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. I'm sure many of you were expecting a guttural scream from your old pal Woodsy this morning after a series win against the Los Angeles Angels of California and Anaheim and Disneyland. But I can't do it. I woke up with a tiny little tickle, and I don't want to inflame the beast. If you could, if I could go to the bullpen and get the tall, bespectacled right-hander.
Yeah, I don't think I've got it either.
All right.
Morning, we may have to go
he's
back
unaware.
to the,
Let's go up to the taller.
I talked for
right-hander.
hours last night anchoring on Channel 10. So let's take it
up. Back off the mic. Kind of put your head between your legs. Yeah. All right, that'll work. That's exactly what we needed.
Bad at
Thank
all.
you. I needed to hit the pen. I don't hit the pen very much. Go to the pen very much. I like to, start and finish. But I needed your help today. Yeah, I woke up with that weird, tickle, just a tiny little, it's one tiny, quarter centimeter of is that a sore throat coming? So I didn't want to irritate
85% chance it's nothing.
Yeah.
15% chance you're going to get miserably sick.
Yeah.
So,
or
good luck with that.
4% chance I'd die.
Yeah,
exactly. Get a voice box or something soon, which would not be, I would quit. Just so you know, I'm not coming in here to talk like this. I'm not doing it. No offense, but I'm not doing it. Good morning, everybody. Here comes a guttural yell. I can't do it. It's fine. Anyway, did you guys see last night Jackson Merrill? What's wrong with his body language? It's not going to happen. So I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl.
No offense to anyone out there who does.
I just said no offense. I don't never mean any offense. Sucks that you even have to say that.
Yeah.
These days, about everything you say. There's a great bit I just saw on It's a great bit I just saw on X. Can't do it on the air because we're going to offend somebody. So it's all bleeped out for us and everything. Played it for you guys. Would have killed. It would have slayed. Can't do it. Can't do it anymore. But anyway, I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer of the program. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning. Hey, how are you?
Doing great. We have got Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well. Yeah, you put the old throat. You were the throat goat yesterday, many have said.
Friendly neighborhood news anchor last night.
Yeah.
And tonight and tomorrow night. So I've got the long shifts. Today, the longest with, of course, the extra hour. We got the Padres Roundtable coming up at 10 o'clock this morning.
So you had about 9 hours of talking yesterday on this show, and then
4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, 11 o'clock news last night. Solo anchoring.
Good God, solo.
Yeah.
No partner to throw it to.
No.
God, you better be on your knees thanking me every day that I exist.
Lots of talking about Sean Diddy Combs and his trial.
Well, your favorite topic.
Gnarly.
Every day, Ben comes in and updates us.
Yes,
God, should we talk about
He's
this?
so fascinated.
I'm not going to complain because I did not have the worst assignment yesterday covering the local news. That went to my colleague who sits at the desk next to me to my right in the Channel 10 newsroom, Max Goldwasser, who was sent to cover the 55-foot whale carcass that washed up on La Jolla Shores Beach. He said it smelled so bad. I believe he said it made a dumpster smell like an air freshener.
Oh.
It was horrific. He was out there for a couple of hours, and then he said, I had to go home and take a shower before I came back into the newsroom. I smelled so bad covering the whale carcass.
Why is a carcass news?
Well, people want to know. I mean, you
thing.
could smell it like in the area. So people are curious, what was that smell going on in San Diego?
So again,
this is the news.
You guys could say, and we just have reports, if you smell something fishy in La Jolla, it could be the dead whale carcass. Here's an overhead shot. You don't need a guy down there with a mic no, I'm here. These things happen in nature. You know what I mean?
You can do that with pretty much.
Hi, Ben.
You can do that with pretty much any story.
Could.
But we actually cover them, give you the details, visuals, like what it looked like. We had an actual, pictures of what a whale carcass looks like when it washes up on shore. It was so decomposed, though. Even the whale biologist didn't know what kind of whale it was.
Good God.
They had to take samples, and then they got a truck and took it to the Miramar landfill, which it's just down the street. So I'm sure that smells wonderful also.
Tevin says, well, whales aren't fish.
That's a good point.
Yes, they still smell fishy, though. All right? They still smell fishy. I think I think it's a gray area, and I think I'm in the clear on that one. Yeah, and then today you'll do 5 hours of radio and then more. It wears on you. It wears on you a little bit. It does.
It's all right. There's definitely worse jobs out there.
Sure.
It's just a long day.
How about the guy that has to dispose of the rotting whale carcass? That's a way worse gig than we have. The way worse gig. Way worse. We had a giant tree fall in our neighborhood. Are you guys going to come by and cover that as well?
Possibly.
Yeah. I mean, giant. Like a huge giant tree.
That's actually good video. Good. It did not. Did it fall on a car
or
a house?
It fell we have a little tiny little canyon by our house, and it just overnight, the night before last.
Did it make a big noise?
So Hannah and I were up. We got up early. We were cuddling at like 3 a.m. and we heard something. We thought one of our cats had knocked something off the counter. She goes, "Go check it out." I go, "I'm not going to check it out. I'm laying in bed." I got, nice warm body next to me. I'm like, "There's no way I'm getting out of bed. If it's a robber, he'll come in here eventually." But I said,
the man of the house.
So I don't want to get up. I'm cold.
Like if he comes in here, we'll deal with it.
Yeah, we'll deal with it.
Cross that bridge when we get.
And we have 3 cats, so I'm like, it's obviously a cat knocked something off the counter. I'm not going to get up out of bed. I'm laying here next to you. You feel so nice and warm, and I'm not going to get up. If I heard breaking glass, I would have been up. But it was just something we hear all the time. Turns out there's a giant tree falling in the neighborhood. So we're out in the street yesterday, me, Hannah, and Bo, and we're all playing catch. And Hannah's got her glove, and we're all playing catch. Guy walks up from the path, and he's holding the dog. He's like walking his dog. And we did not know this at the time. We didn't know that it had fallen. We had no idea. Guy walks up and he goes, "That tree's pretty crazy, huh?" And we're like,
"Tree?"
I go, "Yeah." Like I didn't know what to say. No, I didn't see it. I had no idea. I go, "Yeah."
You didn't know what was going on.
I didn't know what he's talking about.
Totally.
I thought he was on mushrooms walking up to me like, "Oh man, that tree looks crazy." So I gave it like the look over at the trees that are around the neighborhood. I go, "Yeah." And he just kept walking. I go, "What is he talking about?" Then my neighbor comes in. He goes, "What's he?" My boy Ron. I'll give him a shout out. The greatest tier 1. He's the best. "Great show today, buddy." "Thank you, Ron. Did you guys see this tree?" And I go, "What?" So we walk down, and sure enough, Benny, it's probably like 100-foot tall tree. Just so we're over. Bo is losing his mind. He's looking at the roots and how it fell, and I'm walking up across it like Stand By Me, walking across the train tracks in flip-flops. I almost died. And then I realized I got about halfway through, and Hannah is down below. I'm about 8 feet up, so it's pretty high. She goes, "Dummy, you're in flip-flops." She goes, "You're going to break your femur. Can't play baseball." I go, Stop talking. I'll turn around." She got me all spun out. So then I realized I have to turn around on this stump or this shaft, the shaft of the tree. So I had to turn around on it very carefully and then walk back. It was not my smartest move, but I was, trying to impress my kids. It happens. But so, yeah.
Were they impressed?
No. If you want to come out and bring your crew, would love to have you guys down by the tree. Send him down there. We can talk about it, whatever.
Man on the scene.
That is a crap assignment, though, to be down covering a
stinky whale.
Washed up on the sea. How was everybody else's day yesterday? Mine was low key. I did dodge a pretty embarrassing bullet, I would say.
Really?
Yeah. We can talk about it or not. Either one.
Well, let's. Do we have Kelly's traffic ready to go? We can check traffic.
Not yet.
We don't have Kelly's traffic. So
well,
go ahead and just tell us about the bullet you dodged.
Let me tell me about your days.
Well, I hung out with you.
Paulie and I went
after the show.
Paulie and I went and hit.
We went to hit with our buddy Nick.
Yeah, and also Nick changed my guitar string. So thank you for that.
I was on the air for 9 hours. There was no day other than talking.
You
about
had time
sports
between.
I went home, Peloton, showered, and went right back to Channel 10.
Costco?
No, I did. I did stop by the business Costco on my way home.
Okay.
Picked up some supplies.
You and I went to a local high school to hit some baseballs. So I want to give a shout out to my man Owen, who came up to us. He was having lunch, I think, with his buddies. And he's like, "That's Woods and Paul from Ben and Woods." And he came over and said hi, introduced himself. So
like a
Owen,
kid.
I think he was listening during Foreplay. So if you're listening now.
This is what blows my mind. A kid in high school Gets up in the morning. He's like, I got to turn on Ben and Woods. It blew my mind. I don't know why it did, because I used to do it when I was in high school, right?
I listened to Dave Shelley and Chainsaw in the morning when I was coming into high school and driving in the car. So see, they have to listen to something, right? I guess I figured nowadays kids.
I thought they'd be listening to Jelly Roll and stuff in the morning, and Sabrina Carpenter,
some podcast about something,
right?
Totally impenetrable to
video games or something.
Yeah.
And he's like, bro, I love your guys' show. I'm like, you're a kid. You shouldn't be listening to this. But thank you.
Hey, I listen to you guys every morning.
So cool.
Like,
so
nice.
Cool.
Nice to meet him.
And then I got home and I got a DM from a guy that was like, dude, I heard you guys talking about hitting at a high school today. And I look out the window and you guys are walking by my office. I'm like, he's like, I'm a huge Tier fan. My kids go here. They're huge Tier 1s. I'm like, man, you guys have made my day. Thank you so much for that. Thank you to all who listen, even hate listen. I really appreciate you guys the most because you're our most loyal listeners. And without you guys, I'd feel a lot safer, but we'd have worse ratings. We really would. So we went and hit. Baseball Nick did change my guitar string for me. Finally, I got my big baby back and played it last night. Felt so good. Somebody asked in the chat, how was dinner last night? Did you have any drama? The answer is unequivocally yes. I got so mad that I ordered my own dinner from my own restaurant because no one could agree. And so I just ordered something for myself. I'm over it. I'm over it. And they ordered something separate. And I said, I'm done. This is it. This is it. We couldn't decide on a restaurant. I tried to flip a coin and everyone.
I'm not going to. So quit asking.
Everyone was pissing and moaning about the coin flip. Well, I don't like, Hannah was like, I don't want one of those I don't like. I go, yeah, this is called gambling. In gambling, you win some, you lose some, but you still have to pay your losses.
To take the option of losing out of the gambling.
Correct. Let's get 2 restaurants I like. No. Everybody, we have 2 here, and let's have 2 here. This is the gamble. This is why we flipped the coin. But no, I don't like that place. I go, she goes, what if it lands on that? I go, then you have to eat it. So she was actually being as big of a pain as the kids last night. So finally, I looked at everyone. I go, I'm done. That's it. I'm ordering what I want. I love you guys. I've tried, but I can't do this anymore. You guys are killing me.
May I make a suggestion for tonight?
Yes.
Take home one of the round table pizzas from work and just say, here's dinner.
I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you mentioned that. My 7-year-old doesn't like pizza. My wife doesn't really like pizza. Welcome to my personal hell. What? I said to Hannah last night, I go, what 7-year-old doesn't like pizza? Because guess what we're having this weekend? We've got the last rookies game, so you got to have a party after, do the trophies and everything else.
Oftentimes a pizza party.
I mean, it's standard.
Yeah.
Pizza party.
Tale as old as time.
It's tale as old as time, Paulie. And I said, she goes, well, he doesn't like pizza. And I'm like, what 7-year-old doesn't like pizza? She goes, I didn't either when I was 7. I go, she goes, it was just too, everywhere you went. Oh, pizza. I go, you can stomach pizza. It's not like they're saying, hey, come here. We're going to eat couscous and we're going to eat like Indian food with our bare hands. Like you can get it down. You can get it down. In a pinch, you'll eat it. In a pinch, he'll eat it. It's a little league party. What are we going to bring him? A separate container of grilled chicken or something? Like, let's all assimilate a little bit better and make everybody's life easier and stop worrying about just what we want all the time. So you can tell, dude, like my blood pressure is through the roof with this. I'm legit thinking about just on my own every night. I'm making my own dinner. If you guys want some, you can have some. If not, you're fending for yourselves. I know you're 7 and 4 and can't cook. That's not my problem.
Can you
anymore.
get them their own DoorDash accounts loaded up with some funds for them, and they can just order whatever they want?
Bro, we are getting there. I mean, we are absolutely getting there. Now, to my little one's defense, he is a bit lactose intolerant. So sometimes he eats pizza and it doesn't always end well for him. And he gets so sad. He's like, he goes, Dad, will I ever not be lactose intolerant? I go, he gets like upset. So now I feel like a jerk. But so that's kind of the reason he doesn't eat it. Also, I just don't think he likes it very much. So yeah, man, it's just a constant. I'll get up it's like climbing a mountain. I'll climb up 15 feet and then I'll slide back down 10. And I'm like, we were so close. We were so close. But yeah, I guess I can tell you about the bullet I dodged.
All right.
I don't really want to, but I have nothing else.
Woodsy now is going to tell us about that.
I'm dying to know.
right after Kelly's traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. We'll be right back.
From
Don't
the
go anywhere.
855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury. Here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by City Cruises. Good morning. Off to a pretty good start. Just this one problem. Eastbound King Freeway at the northbound 15 connector ramp. A couple cars got into it, so just watch out for a little activity there. Also, a reminder, it's Bike Anywhere Day. So if you see a lot more bicyclists out there on the roads, it's not your imagination, but definitely a good idea to maybe give yourself a little extra time and do be extra alert, extra careful once you are out there on the roads. Let's keep everybody safe. Set sail with Randy Hauser as he lights up the bay for an exclusive concert cruise like no other. Join us on Friday, May 23rd with City Cruises live in San Diego for an epic night of country music, dinner, drinks, and skyline views. Get tickets now at citycruises.com/live. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right. This is the segment you wanted.
No, I didn't really.
Foreplay, so.
Yeah, we could have gone to break.
I should have never
come back in 5 minutes and set the menu. And
Fill us in. Here we go.
No, I mean, it's middle of the afternoon. I'm alone. Come on, you guys can put.
We know what you do.
Put two. It's not just what I do. It's what
You're the
people
only
do.
one.
No, this is what people. That's what people do. I had forgotten that we had a multitude of workers coming by the house. A multitude. I forgot. There were guys coming by. They had to install new screens on a screen door, which, by the way, is something I attempted to do myself one time. All of the things that you guys have heard me say I can't do, that's the one thing I tried at our old place to do myself. These guys are artists. They are artists. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do.
Now, what happened to the old screen? Did someone run into it? Did a cat scratch it?
These are cat-proof screens.
Okay.
We want to be able to leave our doors open. Now, with 3 cats, coyotes like crazy, not smart. We've already lost a couple dogs, as you know. So we're careful about it. So Hannah looked into it, found these really nice screens that are cat-proof. And I questioned her on it. I mean, I said, "Are you sure?" She goes, "Yeah, I'm sure." So then we had somebody come in to look at our drains they're going to get the drains cleaned out. You got to clean the pipes. It's exactly what I was thinking about at the time.
Oh,
sorry. So, it's middle of
Stroganoff.
So it's middle of the day.
Self-love is important.
You always want to do what Mike Schilt says.
I'll tell him about it tomorrow. See, I really took your advice to heart, Schilty. I really did. I really did take it to heart. And
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
all of a sudden, I hear some commotion off to my right, which is where the bedroom screen door is, and I hear somebody open the screen.
oh my God.
And I'm like, I'm like, what? Now there's a guy in the neighborhood. He does the lawns and stuff. So I'm like, is he back here? Is he trying to get in? Because I had forgotten the screen guys were coming. Then I hear the front door slam. The front door to my bedroom is 12 feet. So I had 12 feet. There's a guy attacking me from this side, and then my wife's walking in from this side. I'm in a triangular fashion. I got 2 people coming at me from both sides. And I had to, hey, how's it going? Everybody good? What are we doing? What's happening? What's all that noise?
What? Oh, I was sleeping. I just woke up.
When my wife walked in my room, I was sitting side saddle on my bed looking at my phone. like back to the door. God. Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? So,
I touched myself.
All right. So I dodged a pretty big bullet there yesterday. And she did not know. She didn't know that was happening.
She just found out.
She just found out for the first time. And but now I kind of knew what it was like to be like boxed in. One here. And I really was like, I'm going to have to fend for myself here. I got to get out of this thing. And then all of a sudden I panicked and I was like, I still had like 2 hours till I had to go get Bo from school. I go, I'm just going to go run a couple errands. I just got out of the house because I didn't want to deal with the screen door guys and all that. Like, let them do their thing. But holy cow, dude. It was nerve-wracking.
Somehow, I don't know how Paulie can make every drop from everybody.
Yeah.
Me, Mike Schill, just as weird as possible.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric in the chat says, I agree. I replaced my own screens once. I never will again. Took me all day. The screen guys did it in 30 minutes. I remember having a rolling tool that rolls the screen down into the slot, and then there's this rubber piping that you have to push down. It took me, and then you're cutting the screen. I go, all the stuff over the years that needed to be done. Why was this one the one that I thought, yeah, I'll give this a shot? It would be similar to like, I'm going to put the new flooring in. I have no idea what I'm
string
doing.
Would be much, 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 much easier than replacing a screen in a screen.
I will say, Baseball Nick did give me a nice tutorial yesterday. I was missing a tool. Really, I was missing this tool that made it a million times easier. And I go, oh, if I get one of those, I can do this. And he's like, dude, it's moronically easy. And so now I think I can do it from here on out.
Nice.
Yeah, it was an interesting day in our household.
All right, let's get going here because I want to talk about last night's game. Set the menu for you just quickly. It is a Smart Baseball Thursday. Eno Sarris from The Athletic is going to join us at 8:35. But before then, we got lots of stuff, not just our Padres Wrap-Up. We got 2 giveaways. Later, we actually have Padres tickets. Didn't know this, but for tomorrow night's game, the opener of the Vetter Cup against the Seattle Mariners at Petco Park. So you'll have a chance to win 2 tickets to tomorrow night's game, San Diego's biggest happy hour party in the park, presented by Southwest Airlines, $5 drink specials. You can get your tickets at Padres.com/tickets. That's later, but because we have the later giveaway, going to have a special early giveaway right now for the early rising tier 1s. We've been giving away the card show tickets all week. If you want to win them right now, we've got 2 tickets and VIP tickets to the Front Row Card Show at the Town and Country Resort in Mission Valley, May 24th and 25th. Huge show with over 400 vendors of sports cards, Pokemon, comic books, autographs, and other collectibles. Go to frontrowcardshow.com for tickets, but start calling now, 833-288-0973. Paulie's going to take the 5th caller, and we'll give away some early passes to the Front Row Card Show, and then get into our highlights with Jesse and Tony from last night's game as the Padres win the series. SDFC also played last night, another solid win for San Diego FC and our soccer team, and then all of our usual features like Don't Do This, a Throwback Thursday clip that Paulie's pulled, a couple of them actually, from the Ben & Woods archives. Real or fake on a Thursday, chance to qualify for Vegas, Reindl Report, and get you to the roundtable at 10 o'clock when we all join together over there, except Paulie somehow is not on the roundtable today. You got replaced.
I got replaced by this he played like softball or something. Tony Gwynn Jr. Yeah.
So we're downgrading to Tony Gwynn
He knows
Jr.
what he's talking about, so I have no problem stepping away. I
will your chair.
I will be working with a client at 10 o'clock. Got to cut some audio, so I'm still working. Don't worry.
Adam found something for you to do you thought you were getting off early. You're not.
All right, we'll get things started with our wrap-up coming up next. It's Ben & Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Real quickly, gang, wanted to tell you about Underdog, the WNBA season tipping off now. You can set your picks and roll to a win on Underdog, the leading place to make your sports picks. You can now play right here in our state. Lots of people have already won lots of money on Underdog. Will you be next? All you got to do is download the app, choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. Rebounds, points, assists, and so much more. Once your picks are locked in, you can play with as little as $1. If you get everything right, you win up to 1,000 times your money. Very fun, very simple to do. You can play a bunch of different sports. Got a big golf tournament coming up starting today. Get those picks in as well. A lot of fun to do that on Underdog as well. So download the Underdog app, sign up with promo code Woods to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. Promo code is Woods. Got to be 18 and over, 19 and over in Alabama, Nebraska, 19 and over in Colorado for some games, 21 and over in Massachusetts and Arizona, and present in the state where Underdog Fantasy operates. Terms do apply. If you are concerned with your play, call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit ncpgambling.org. Arizona, call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT-STEP to 53342. In New York, call the 24/7 Hope line at 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Let's talk a little bit about the lineup last night because, as speculated, I believe by one Stephen Woods.
Thank you for that credit, man.
Who correctly predicted that Brandon Lockridge would get the start in left field last night as Jason Hayward was given a night off despite a righty on the mound in Kyle Hendricks. Now, I was not aware of the time of the reverse splits that Kyle Hendricks had possessed, and the fact that Brandon Lockridge has really had kind of reverse splits as well, is not doing as poorly against right-handers despite being a right-handed batter, but he was given an opportunity and did come through to put a little insurance on the board late in the game as well for the San Diego Padres. So
how good
Mike
did that
Schilt,
feel?
Rewarded for that decision of having Brandon Lockridge in the lineup last night. I'm sure he enjoyed that.
Well, I mean, I think, I've got Schilte's ear, and when I talk, he listens. He listens.
It seemed like maybe he was listening on his way in.
Could you imagine? I took your idea. It worked this time. Could you imagine? Well, I still don't understand why he clogs up the bottom with the catcher. I can't wrap my head around what the reasoning is for having any of our catchers batting ninth. I can't.
Oh, I think the reasoning is pretty clear. You want your worst hitter as far from the top of the lineup as possible because maybe he won't have to bat as often.
I mean, like the idea of the. It just sometimes it just feels like it clogs up a little bit.
I know what you're saying.
You know what I mean?
But at the same time, if you go into the first inning, you got number 6 batter, number 7 batter. It's like, yeah, just keep them as far away from the top of that order as possible.
But remember when sometimes the pitcher would bat in the 8 hole and they would have when the pitchers would do that.
I never loved that.
It didn't make sense because pitchers can't hit, but I guess Maldi is essentially
didn't Tony La Russa do that occasionally?
He did.
It's a Mike Schilt, protege of Tony La Russa.
Yeah,
but there's no pitchers hitting.
Good point by David here. He says, fortunately, Maldonado doesn't reach base often enough to clog the bases. That's it's kind of a glass half full way to look at it.
He got the bunt down he needed to get down this week.
He did 100%. You have earned yourself another week. And again, they talked about it on the broadcast last night. You saw him take charge last night when was it Jacob that got the mound visit from Maldi and Maldi came. Yeah. And Maldi came I don't know what he said, but it wasn't
got the
like
double play right after
that, right? It wasn't like, hey buddy, just relax.
I think
it was
Mud or Don, one of them said the same thing. They're like, he's Maldonado taking charge there.
I like that a lot. So again, the pitchers have really liked working with these two so far. And so, it's fine. It's fine. He got his bunt down, like you said.
We can ask Shilty about his lineups tomorrow.
I don't want to ask him.
Tune into the Manager's Report with Mike Schilt at 9 a.m. on Friday. The Manager's Report is refreshed by Eco Water SoCal. Try alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. Eco Water SoCal, keeping it soft since 1925. Kelly's got traffic, and then our Padres wrap up all the highlights from a 5-1 win over the Angels coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Looking good on our roads at this time. That crash cleared up on eastbound King Freeway at the northbound 15 connector ramp. So no problems there. Westbound King Freeway, not looking too bad all the way into downtown San Diego. Before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes and you're road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I love winning, man. I love winning. You hear what I'm saying? It's like better than losing.
Miss any of the Padres win yesterday? Ben and Woods didn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've got you covered with all of the highlights.
Oh, yes.
It's the
Padres Wrap-Up,
brought to you by Hamul Casino Resort. Things are about to get real with the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With gorgeous rooms and exciting new eats and drinks. It gets real this summer at Hamul Casino Resort, the player's place.
I want to go fast, but I want to go slow, and I want to go deep.
3-2, Bogart swings, hits it in the air, deep to left field. This one way back, gonna go! 3-run homer, Xander Bogaerts. And the Padres take a 3-0 lead here in the bottom of the first. 2-1 after the mound visit. Jacob delivers. Lugo swings, hits it on one. Weird hop to Cronenworth. He will tag the runner Adele for the first in time and a double play. And had some funky English on it, but Cronenworth makes the play to end the inning. Cronenworth at first, Bogaerts at second, Machado at third. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on, lined, and over the head of Neto in a left center base hit. Machado scores. Bogaerts on his way. Brandon Lockridge, a 2-run single. Bases empty, 2 down. 2-2 to Taylor Ward. Suarez ready. Here's the pitch. It is on the outside corner. Strike 3 called. Robert Suarez bounces back with a 1-2-3 ninth inning. And the Padres take this series from the Angels with a very satisfying 5-1 win here tonight.
Yeah, he's been really good. Him and Maldi are working really well together. Controlling counts, moving the ball around. He's pitching. He's changing speeds. The cutter's been good. Got it working a little bit later today. Really effective for him, getting up barrels, and controlling counts, getting lead outs. He's pitching really well.
Mike Schilt talking about Randy Vasquez, who picks up the win, 3rd straight solid outing by the Padres' number 5 starter, or number 4 starter, or number 6 starter. If Yu Darvish comes back, and it looks like he's getting closer. Randy Vasquez, to me, remains a mystery. If you look at his underlying metrics, and I see the analytical Padres fans pointing it out, They're not very good. His expected ERA.
What is his expected ERA?
I don't know what it specifically is, but it's much higher than his actual ERA. It would indicate that Randy Vasquez is getting kind of lucky so far this season. But if you talk to someone like Mike Schilt, people who are watching, they feel like Randy Vasquez is pitching well. He's got at least enough stuff and puts it in the right places at the right times that he's making it work for him. And if he doesn't walk batters, and he hasn't been the last 2 starts, he walked just one guy each time, that Randy Vasquez can be a legitimate quality major league starting pitcher.
Well, I mean, look at the guy across the field from you last night, Kyle Hendricks. He is the exact same type of guy. He induces soft contact, and he's had a really long career and pitched on some really big teams. I'm looking at this Savant page for Randy Vasquez, and I know this isn't the end-all, be-all. You look at he's 3-3 with a 3.45 ERA. He started 9 games for you. He's giving you 44 innings pitched right now, that's good. He goes out and eats up innings, which, again, if he's your 4, if he's your 5, that's exactly what you need from a guy like this. You couldn't do a better job as a 5th starter than Randy Vasquez has done. You really couldn't. You only got 2 sliders in the red, Ben, which is good. That's what you want.
You want red sliders.
You know what they are?
Yes.
Average exit velocity and hard hit percentage. He gets soft contact, and soft contact breeds outs. That's what it gets you. And
doesn't get a lot of swing and miss.
Doesn't get a lot of whiff. He doesn't. But I loved this from our pal Kyle Glazer last night. Said Randy Vasquez's night is done. Final line: 6 innings pitched, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, 1 walk, 5 Ks. This is the 6th time in 9 starts he's thrown at least 5+ innings with 2 or fewer runs allowed. Guys, you take that from your 5th starter every day and you don't look back.
He has done his job
100%
every time,
almost
out.
every time. And one was
had 2 bad outings.
One was in
year.
Chicago,
and
right?
One in Detroit,
yeah. And so I look at him and I go, hey man, you want to talk about job well done? Job well done. Is he getting lucky? Probably. Will he regress? Yeah, most likely. But so far, so good for Randy Vasquez. And the dude, you can tell, man, the guy cares. He wants to be out there. He wants the ball. I love that. He's done exactly what we've needed.
Now, I will say that his recent run has come against, the Pirates, the Rockies, and the Angels, 3 of the worst offensive teams in the league. So that helps. But I do believe that Randy Vasquez is the right pitcher in the right place for the Padres right now. Padres are a good defensive team and can be on certain days, they can be a great defensive team. If Randy Vasquez was pitching for the Angels and with all these balls in play and shaky defense behind him, I mean, it would snowball out of control. But, when he does occasionally give up the really hard ground ball, there's Manny, making a nice pick at third base and throwing the guy out at first when there's runners on, and he will allow some runners on. There's contact, so there's going to be some soft singles. There's going to be the occasional walk. There's Jake to bail you out with a really nice double play. You heard it in the highlights. Make the tag, make the throw. You've got a smart, good defense behind you that I think is, perfect for Randy Vasquez. He's in a perfect spot right now.
His walk rate is still a little bit high. It's he
was the highest in baseball until 3 starts ago.
Yeah.
So now he's kind of brought it down to more at least manageable levels.
I'm happy for him, man. I mean, I really am. I think that's, you've been tasked with this job and he's gone out and he's done his job. And he keeps you in the game and gives you a chance to win. If you need to hear that stat again, he's had 9 starts. 6 out of 6 of those 9, he's thrown 5+ with 2 or fewer runs allowed. What else could you draw up for your 5th starter? Would you like him to have more swing and miss? I don't care.
Nobody's expecting Randy Vasquez when they see he's pitching tonight, could see a no-hitter tonight.
Right. It's again, in a results-based business, using your defense behind you that's really good. This is what you want from your 5th starter. And I think, last night was another example of look at that, man. Xander gets us on the board and you can breathe a little bit. He gives one back. And then it gets a little bit dicey.
Well, I would say every pitcher wants early offense.
Of course.
And a 3-run homer is great. But when you don't add on, if you had told me, they're going to get the 3, but next 6 innings, you're not going to see anything from the Padres. Is Randy Vasquez going to hold that lead? I wouldn't have been that confident that 3 was enough for the Padres in that game. That's a tough spot. You're walking kind of a tightrope. It's 3-1 for essentially, 5 consecutive innings there.
He did.
And he walked the tightrope and kept it going, got it to the bullpen, which then, of course, came through for the Padres. Looked like the bullpen we had seen from the first, month plus of the season.
Excellent work, man.
Hopefully this last week turns into some sort of weird, nightmarish anomaly at the end of the season. When we look back and go, God, what a great bullpen the Padres have. Remember that week which they were all horrible? It wasn't that weird? Just all at once, they just all were terrible for 1 week.
Whoever hoists the commissioner's trophy at the end of the year, the World Series championship,
hunk of metal,
that big hunk of metal, as he called it, their fan base, whoever it may be, will go, oh my God, remember that stretch where our bullpen was murdering us? Every single one. It doesn't matter who you are, because it's already happened to every single team in baseball.
Yeah.
There's guys getting hurt. There's guys underperforming. They're giving up runs. They're walking guys. It's happened already.
It's crazy. And I'm not like the standings guy this early in the season. I know you are. I know you are.
Bro, I'm crazy right now.
But it's crazy how, you're 3 weeks in and you got a handful of teams that are just dominating, like the Padres were. And then you had teams like the Braves and the Rockies, those horrible starts. And there was just so much separation between the top and the bottom. And then you give it a full, month, 6 weeks into the season, and you start looking at the standings. You're like, oh, everyone's kind of within 5 games of each other. It all evens out.
Always. It's baseball. It's going to even out there. Again, this means nothing. The fact that they had 3 shutdown innings last night, you got to do it again against Seattle if called upon. You can't come in here and say, "Well, they're fixed."
That's a good team.
They're a good team.
If the Padres can handle business this weekend, especially the bullpen that we're talking about right now, that would make me think, okay, they're back. They got that crap out of their system because this is a good team this weekend.
And they're gonna, you're gonna have more stints where guys don't perform. It just happens.
Well, you get Morajón and Suarez both back on the horse.
Yep.
They feel confident.
Back on track.
You got an off day to everybody gets to reset. So you're going to go into that series
fresh,
every arm fresh and ready to go. So you're set up pretty well going into the weekend. Yeah, Mariners are tough, but we'll talk about that series obviously coming up, and I'm sure tomorrow as well. They are also missing a bunch of starting pitchers. Padres will not be facing the intimidating starters like Logan Gilbert and Bryce Miller. They are not available. They'll be missing Brian Wu. So it is. I'm not even sure if they've named pitchers for all 3 games of the series yet. So Padres catching another pitching break this weekend.
Who are you looking at? Kolek, Pivetta, King?
Kolek, Pivetta, King for the Padres at home this weekend.
Like it.
I want to talk about Manny Machado a little bit. Continues his hot streak, 2 for 2, 2 walks.
This is Manny Machado.
He's so locked in, man.
He's
quietly
locked.
He's not chasing pitches, out of the zone very much. His chase rate's down to about 21%, which is fantastic. His 340 batting average is now second in the league because Freddie Freeman has qualified enough at bats. Of course, when Jackson Merrill qualifies, then he'll pass Freddie Freeman because even after an 0 for 8, he's still batting .412. That's how hot Jackson Merrill had been. But I heard on the postgame show last night, and I won't bring up the guy's name who called Sammy afterwards.
What is it? You tell me, I will.
That's fine. It's actually more that I don't remember what his name was, but he called and he said, "Yeah, Manny, I know he's got this 14-game hitting streak going, and he's batting a career best 340 now. But I really feel like, his RBI numbers are low, his home run numbers are low. Is he not coming through in the clutch, Sammy?" What's his batting average with runners in scoring position? And Sammy pauses and he goes, "You know what? It's a good question. What would you guess Manny's average with runners in scoring position?" And he goes, "Well, he's got less RBIs than Gavin Sheets and, way more at bats. Maybe 250, 260 or something." And Sammy, drum roll, please. Manny's hitting 395 with runners in scoring position. He's not clutch. He's incredibly clutch, as well as having his best essentially offensive start to his career here with the San Diego Padres. The only thing he's not getting is home runs.
That's it.
RBI, you can't control. If you're hitting with runners in scoring position and not getting RBI, it's because you're just not getting a lot of opportunities from the guys in front of you.
Yeah, at one point, Show had 11 home runs and 14 RBI because the bottom of the order wasn't getting on for him. There's only, Manny doesn't have those 11 home runs, but what he does have is a 1,000 OBP last night. He's on base 4 times. He makes a lot of money to drive those guys in. They need to be there in that spot.
Well, and sometimes they're not there because, Fernando hit a home run.
Right.
He's not – Fernando, 11 home runs?
Yeah.
Well, he's not on base.
Right.
11 of those times that Fernando has gotten, quote-unquote, on base, he's not actually there for Manny to drive in. When Arise gets on base in front of him, he's usually at first because
Correct.
He's singles. He, very few extra base hits, so you don't get an opportunity to drive Arise in from first base unless you hit a home run, which, of course, Manny just doesn't have a lot of this year.
I can't imagine calling a radio station when my third baseman is hitting 480 in the last 14 games, 24 for 50. 480 it's robust. It's robust. It's misguided, I think. I'm the wrong guy to ask. I mean, it's like yesterday. Does that need to be said when a guy's hitting almost 500 over his last 14 games? That's insane to me.
He's a stud.
Yeah. You saw him last night, kind of rolled his ankle.
Ooh, yeah.
Hey, Manny,
A little worrisome.
do you want to come out?
No.
He's played in every game. Every game. How many games do we have? 41, 42?
42.
Played in every one of them. It's crazy.
Manny posts. All right, and then the one run for the Los Angeles Angels last night. A home run by future Padre Taylor Ward. And I laugh, but it's definitely something that, you got some speculation. Plays left field. Padres may need a left fielder. Now, he's only hitting 186.
Fits right in.
But
Left
he
fielder.
does have 10 home runs. Is Taylor Ward, in your opinion, Woods, potentially the right fit? I mean, OPS 637. That's bad. But the 10 home runs is
Solid.
intriguing because it's the one area that the Padres have not had a ton of this season. Outside of Tatis, home run numbers, they're near bottom 10 in baseball
I think
in
we could
home
find
runs.
a slot for him.
Well, I mean, again, look where he plays, right? He's not super expensive. He is a good fit, Yeah, I would be amenable to a guy like Taylor Ward out in left field right now. It's tough to, Lockridge had a great game last night, but again, I don't think you want to run him out there 6 days a week, So you need a more permanent solution. I'm not giving up a ton for Taylor Ward either. And the Angels will probably ask. He probably feels too. Mike Trout being out, he's probably like, I got to do more.
Yeah.
In this lineup, he doesn't. He really doesn't have to do more. Go out and be you and contribute in the 7 hole, and let's have a ball. He'd be a great fit. No, and Dub J says, why are we downplaying Lockridge's capabilities? We're not. But Brandon Lockridge, make no mistake about it, is not an everyday left fielder in the big leagues right now. He's just not. He's a really good spot starter, and he's a guy that can come off the bench.
And no power whatsoever.
And zero power whatsoever.
Brandon Lockridge, as you just said, is most valuable when you have him to do whatever you need with him late in the game.
Absolutely. He is a total weapon.
Locking him in a starter spot really takes away all of the great benefits you have of having Brandon Lockridge. It's like, I can put him in as a pinch runner, or I can put him in to bunt here, or I can put him in for defensive purposes wherever. He's a great tool for Mike Schilt.
No doubt.
That you take away by actually putting him in the game to start.
Yeah, I mean, look,
it's counterintuitive.
It is.
But you want Brandon Lockridge available later in the game, not starting every game in left field.
I mean, his OBP is 291. He's slugging 314.
It's less
his
than
OPS
Taylor
is
Ward.
605. Yeah. So but he can field and he can run, which makes him a perfect guy off the bench, defensive replacement late in the game. A big clutch knock last night. Don't take one thing away from Brandon Lockridge. He got his opportunity. He took it and gave the Padres some much needed insurance. Just proud of the whole effort last night, Benny, from the starting pitching to the bullpen to Manny being on base all night to good patient at bats. Xander Bogaerts just getting you on the board early, being able to breathe a little bit.
It was not 9 or 10 pitches. That was a great at bat.
Great
by
AB.
Xander Bogaerts to wait out, Kyle Hendricks and figure him out and finally get it. Now
he's look, and to be fair, Kyle Hendricks would be a fairly comfortable AB for a big leaguer. Fairly comfortable. You are of the opinion he can deceive me, but he's not going to gas me up here. So I can kind of sit back, look for my pitch, And great job, man. Absolutely.
Now he can make you look silly like he did with
Yeah,
Tatis.
yeah,
with,
yeah.
Almost an ephus pitch coming up there. But yeah, you're right. You're not going to worry.
No,
about
you're not
the
scared to death
speed
up there.
beating you.
Right. That Fermin guy, now that's a different story. The guy later in the game, he's a different story.
Sellout crowd at Petco Park again. How did it look at Snapdragon Stadium for SDFC? We will get into that. Hour number 2 next on Ben and Woods. I'm going to give it a bit about 65,000 sports fans out and about in San Diego last night. Padres, of course, won the head-to-head battle with a bigger stadium and still a slightly bigger following with a bucket hat giveaway and another huge crowd at Petco Park. I think that's 18 sellouts and 21
no big deal
home dates now for the San Diego Padres.
Well, they have like 125,000 people Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday.
Yeah, not
weeknight games against the Angels.
I think I saw last year. And remember, they set an attendance record last year and sold out a record number of games. They didn't get their 18th sellout until their 31st game. So they're 10 games ahead of that pace this year as they go for another attendance record. But not a bad crowd. At least, half full last night at Snapdragon, which would be, 17 to 20,000. I didn't see the final numbers as San Diego FC hosted the Colorado Rapids in their first ever midweek game in MLS action. Now, usually you just play Saturday or Sunday, like football, once a week, but occasionally they have these weeks where they throw in the double, and this is one of them for SDFC because they have another home game coming up Saturday against Sporting KC. Good win last night,
Great win.
though. Really solid game. The parts that I watched, they seem to dominate the action. Got that first goal, very nice corner kick goal in the first half, 33rd minute. A header assist from Yepi Tverskov to Chris McVeigh, who then headed it in. It's always, I don't know why, it always looks, when one guy heads it to another guy who heads it into the net, that's a really, really cool goal. And then the second half, Anders Dreyer had a fun shot where he hit the post, but then followed it right back to him.
He's good, man.
Knocked it home. He is leading the team with 6 goals now this season.
Three straight games he scored in.
He's hot. He was the one who I met earlier this week when I went down there. Seemed like a really cool guy. He's a Padres fan, takes his family to the games. Cheers for Manny. Manny cheers for him. And CJ Dos Santos, the goalkeeper.
It's been unbelievable.
Not only a clean sheet, but
his 5th, by the way.
He had to save a penalty kick, which is, I mean,
how?
I know there's got to be some luck involved because you're diving one way or the other, but there's instinct, read, whatever you're getting off the guy who's about to kick it. And he made a terrific save in the 77th minute or something that kept it 2-0 and, keeps the pressure off late in the game.
Got a lot of tier ones in the chat, said they were at the game last night, said it was electric. Just so much fun. So we're supposed to go, 18 of us, by the way. 18 of us. It's quite an undertaking.
Wow.
On Saturday. It's 4 families, and there's 18 of us. And no, Ben, I did not email and ask them for tickets.
18 tickets? That would be a lot to ask.
That would be a lot. But Hannah's worried about the rain. And I'll be honest, I'm also worried about the rain. I don't necessarily want to go out and watch it in the rain. If I had my druthers, my choice. You know what I mean? I'd rather, because I want to go to a game badly.
I got
not that badly.
I got the
that make sense?
Now, we don't do this on purpose in the local news. And Megan, when she was doing Megan Perry, her forecast last night as I was anchoring, she teased chance of rain this weekend, San Diego.
Yes.
To me, it felt like it's something you have to say because it is a possibility there's going to be some rain, but she didn't seem like, oh, here comes a big one. It's coming. It was more like, yeah, I mean, we're probably going to get a little, some drizzle and wetness, but it's probably not going to hit us really hard. And if you're prepared, I don't think it's going to be a huge problem on Saturday night at the game.
Can you ever be prepared with 2 demon seeds at your side? On kid night, by the way.
Keegan says emergency ponchos.
All right.
Plastic bags to put over your children.
They will be at my doorstep. If Hannah's listening, and I'm sure she is, they'll be at my doorstep from Amazon by the time I get home from work, I'm sure. But yeah, we definitely want to go. I want to see the spectacle. I want to be there.
That must be the biggest grind. I mean, watching that Padres road trip in Pittsburgh and all the fans in New York who have to go and wear, giant rain ponchos throughout the game.
Happened last night.
Stay kind of dry. Yeah. It looks, I don't know, it looks kind of miserable, honestly. I mean,
you're a press box guy. You've been sitting in the press box your whole life. You've never had to lower yourself.
I went to a
there.
ton of games when I was a kid, and I can only remember like once or twice ever sitting through any rain in the stands in San Diego.
It rains once or twice.
Well, really, in the summer, it almost never does. One of them was for a Chargers game. That was a playoff game in January, and there's just so little rain in San Diego. We are spoiled. No doubt about that.
No question about it. But with 18 people, I got to get the temperature. The other parents too. You're probably going to have there's probably going to be one dad, and I think I know who it is. It's like, rain or shine, let's go. We're going to grind through this thing. We're like, all right, I'll go. I mean, I can sit home and watch it on TV in the comfort of my own home and not have to go with 18 people. I think that's also an opportunity.
See, now at Petco Park, there's a lot of covered areas. Not so
There's
much
some.
at Snapdragon Stadium.
Is there not?
Not a ton.
Well, there's a concourse.
Yeah, but it's open air for the most part.
Yeah.
It's true.
You haven't been down there.
I've only been once.
There's not a lot. There's a couple of
So
behind the stands. You can
can
go
all pile in together.
Yeah, but
under the
there'll be
bleachers.
a lot of people under the bleachers at one time.
Now it's a
It does
huge
rain.
win. Three straight wins. Is that right?
Three straight wins
three straight
after
wins.
3 straight losses.
Yeah.
So a nice little bounce back from SDFC.
Yeah,
They
I flipped it
remain-
over. I watched the last. I was actually surprised to find there were still about 15 minutes left, and watch them close it out. And just another really, really good win for them.
I know you say it's too early to look at the Major League Baseball standings. Is it too early to look at the MLS table?
I was going to ask Darren Smith that tomorrow. Like I was going to ask Darren when he comes on, hey man, playoff team? Like obviously that's the goal now. Expectations have changed.
So yeah, they're about a third of the way through the season. They played 13 of their 34
there's
matches.
so many games to go. I'm looking at the schedule right now.
They've got
Never mind.
21 games remaining. So about
Just win Saturday.
a little more than a third of the way through the season. They are 7 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. That's 23 points in the standings. Western Conference. Vancouver Whitecaps, first place, 27 points. San Diego FC, second place, 23 points, all by themselves.
Good.
In second place. Top 7 make the playoffs outright, and then 8
Out of each division.
out of each conference.
Conference.
Yeah. And then 8 and 9 play in like a wild card
Got
match
it.
to get that final seed. So technically, top 9 teams will make the playoffs. They're in second right now.
Good. All right. Keep it rolling.
As you said, there are a lot of matches left, but they have positioned themselves quite well to at least reach the postseason in their first year. And if they can stay somewhere in that top 4, which is where they are right now, chance to have some home field advantage in the first round of the
It'd be
playoffs
so
type
rad.
thing.
So rad to have a home playoff game in your first season. It'd be electric. No, that was great. Great win. Nice San Diego sports night. They're rare. Drink them in when you get a chance. Yeah.
I think so.
Yep.
Yeah. 2 wins. In fact, I saw someone say there's been 3 separate days where the Padres and SDFC have both played at home on the same day or night. And all 3 times, both teams won.
Keep that rolling.
It's good. It's a good combo if you can get it. Well,
That's right.
hopefully 4th time comes on Saturday night when it happens again, when the Padres host the Mariners and SDFC hosts Sporting KC.
Emily asks, it's a good question. When do playoffs start for them? I was just looking at the schedule. They play all the way up through their last game is October 18th.
Yeah, so
it's like baseball.
end of October. Yeah. It's even later than baseball.
Later than baseball.
Starts earlier, ends later. It's a long season in MLS.
Yeah, they make me. It makes me tired watching them. They run a lot.
10 miles per match for the players who kind of run the most. And I don't know if that's the defenders or the midfielders who are going back and forth the most, but
10 miles.
It's a lot of running. If you're out there for the whole 90 plus minutes, they pull some guys off with substitutions.
Crazy.
But, it's an endurance sport.
How often do they play these like midweeks? This feels like playing Monday night football and then playing again on Thursday night.
As they go through the season, there's probably 4 or 5 of them during the year with MLS games, but there's also those other tournaments that you play, and those are almost always midweek games. So
It's
when
like
you
June or
play
July,
a Leagues Cup match, and you get more of them during the summer. So they got to get used to this. It's it'll get to the point where more often than not they're actually playing a midweek match at some point, and then you got to And when I talked to Mikey Varas, the coach, he said, I'm not really thinking about holding back players for future matches. I'm going to put the best 9 out or the best 11 out there that gives me the best chance to win. And then after the game, we'll reevaluate. And if someone needs a breather, or we see, we feel like we need to give a guy a day off or not start him in the next game, we'll do that. But for now, just going to keep trying to win games. And I think, Anders Dreyer is as fit as it gets. He has been out there for all but I think 32 minutes of the season. And he says, I want to play. I'd play 3 times a day, he said, if they let him. I want to be out there as much as possible. Guy loves running around all day long playing
lunatic.
soccer.
Straight up lunatic. You'd have to be.
I'd pass on that.
Yeah,
but
pass on it as well.
he loves doing it.
Good.
So congratulations to SDFC on the win. Quick update on Yu Darvish back to the Padres. As they were winning last night, Yu Darvish was pitching in Las Vegas for the El Paso Chihuahuas against the Las Vegas Aviators. And from all reports, it went pretty well. Little trouble in the first inning. Walked a guy and gave up a home run. After that, though, really cruised. Allowed just one other hit. Retired the final 8 batters he faced. Threw 51 pitches. Mostly for strikes. Struck out 4 batters. Came out of the game after 4 innings. Now, Mike Schilt had said he was expecting about 65, but I don't think the pitch count of 51 is really reason for concern. I think it was more they didn't want to bring him back out for the potential of like a long inning and have to take him out. He may have actually gone to the bullpen and thrown a little bit more just to build up as well, but he'll report to the Padres today how he feels. And my suspicion, if Yu Darvish says I feel good, he will probably make his next start with the Padres. Mike Schilt wouldn't go out and say that, but he wouldn't not say it either. And I think that's kind of the inclination that I'm going with, that Yu's next appearance will be returning on the mound for the San Diego Padres, probably next week on the road trip.
Flipped a couple really, really nice breaking balls up there. Touched 97 with the heater at one point. Sat around 94 with his arsenal, Ben. That guy can get anybody out at any time when he's locked in. So 4 innings, 51 pitches, 2 runs, 4 Ks. He used 5 total pitches, 4-seamer up to 97, average 95, 10 total whiffs. That's really, really good and looks healthy doing it. That's from our buddy Tommy. So
saw him messing with the AAA guys by doing the leg kick pause.
Holy smokes, dude. I loved it.
Looked like he was Yu Darvish, which is a very good sign for the Padres going forward. We talked about it earlier this week. I think all of us expect the Padres to probably, at least for now, if Yu comes back, go with a 6-man starting rotation with very few off days. After Monday's off day, Paulie went through the schedule earlier this week. 9 in a row, day off, like 9 in a row, day off, 13 in a row after
9 day off, 13 day off, 13 day off.
So that's
that gets us to like July.
35 games in 37 days. Yeah, a 6-man rotation sounds really, really nice for the Padres over the next month plus if they can get Yu back and they can keep the other guys healthy and Stephen Kolek and Randy Vasquez, keep putting together decent performances and outings. I don't think there's any reason to take either of those guys out of the starting rotation at this point. So just add Yu to the mix and let him eat for the next month or so.
Yeah, 6-man rotation. Fine by me, man. A lot of teams are doing it. I think it beats the alternative of doing a bullpen day every 4 days. I mean, which is what LA's going through right now. Still winning ball games though, figuring out a way to win every single night. This dogfight has been pretty nuts between the Padres and Dodgers. And of course, Diamondbacks and Giants still hanging around in the West.
We can
I just looked again. So after today, so you start with tomorrow, you got a 3-game series. Then you have another day off on Monday.
Okay.
But from tomorrow until the end of June, 42 games, 46 days. So,
gonna be grinding.
And you got some good teams coming
out.
Ask
what he thinks about going with the 6-man versus the a short bullpen though, when you've got that, and how that's going to affect the Padres. He'll join us at 8:35 for some smart baseball. Up next though, don't do this. And Woods and I are going to talk about some comments that Jeff Passan made yesterday with Pat McAfee. He was on the Pat McAfee show talking about Paul Skeens and whether the Pittsburgh Pirates should.
I love Paul Skeens.
Trade Paul Skeens now. Just, just trade him. And it sounds insane. Like, why would you trade Paul Skeens? He's a rookie. He's cheap. I mean, this is the exact kind of player you need if you're the Pittsburgh Pirates. Why would you do that if you're in Pittsburgh? But there is an argument. There's also a don't do this element to it. And we will get to all of that.
I got a do this too that I just found. That's awesome. Putting in the work, getting your chance, and it all paying off.
Love it. Love that. All right. That's coming up next after a check of traffic with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, play at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
Off day today. If you're looking for something to do on your Thursday, how about making the short drive down the 5 freeway to 7 Mile Casino in Chula Vista, whether it's this afternoon, this evening. 7 Mile is always open, Woods, 24 hours a day for people who love playing cards in a great environment.
No question about it. There's a lot to do. Like, I love the California style blackjack, but there's Texas Hold'em if you've got the time to sit. And man, you'll have a great time doing that. Baccarat, Pai Gow as well. It's a really great place, smoke-free environment, no slot machines either. And they'll cater to you. If you're a high-limit player, that's the place for you.
Dinner tonight, maybe at Sammy's at 7 Mile. You've got the great pizzas, pastas, salads at Sammy's. But if you don't go at dinner time, they have the 24/7 players menu anytime with great favorites like the Kung Pao chicken, the Asian pork chop, and on weekends, the weekend brunch, best in the South County, Saturdays and Sundays from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. right there inside of Sammy's.
Check it out for yourself, my friends. It's 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Paul Skeens chat incoming. Don't do this. Brought to you by Trust and Will.
Don't.
Yes, leave your entire estate, house, kids, and life savings up to chance if and when you die.
Do.
Set up a Trust or Will online at trustandwill.com.
This
is a lot more affordable than you think. Visit trustandwill.com for more info. First, though, Woods.
I was out with the family yesterday on a little neighborhood walk, and I saw my beloved postman, Doug. And Doug wears his Chargers hat every day. Don't hold it against him. The greatest guy you'll ever meet. Doug, hey, what's up, buddy? It's like Christmas today, Woodsy. It's the schedule release day. I go, yeah, good for you, pal.
Yo, Josh, what up, man? Chet Hanks. This is from your boy, Doug. Doug.
That's my he's the greatest.
Doug.
Schedule release day. I was like, I get it. Nobody cares. So look, the Chargers, they do a lot of things right on social media. They crush it every year. But
it's really stunning how right they do that one specific thing.
They crush it.
When for the last 60 years they've done
nothing right.
Nothing else
It's
right,
crazy.
essentially, other than this right now. They kill it.
They murder it.
They kill it with their social media.
So it's a big deal now. The schedule released. NFL does a phenomenal job at doing. Most teams really knocked it out of the park yesterday. Creative.
They've all put pressure on each other.
Oh yeah, bro. It's competition is robust.
Yeah, the Chargers,
for
if
sure.
you didn't see, they did a giant Minecraft. I mean, hundreds of
Hundreds.
hours putting in this Minecraft world, essentially, to go through all their opponents for the season. Not a Minecraft person, but the people who were like raving.
Yeah,
like,
well,
this is clever and unbelievably done.
The Indianapolis Colts had the same idea. They did some Minecraft action as well. But in their week one, they're playing the Miami Dolphins. And in it, they had a dolphin diving out of the water. It had a 10 jersey on, and it said Hill above it. Tyreek Hill as the dolphin.
Of course.
Coast Guard right behind him, coming after him. You know, he gets in trouble every single week. So, I mean, holy smokes, dude. Week one, I thought it was really clever. Now, if you're Tyreek Hill, you probably didn't like it very much at all. They're going to lose by 60, by the way, to Tyreek Hill and the Dolphins that week one. Colts actually, Ben, put out a statement on. They had to delete the video.
Oh,
they said
all that work.
They said we took it down because it exceeded our rights with Microsoft and included an insensitive clip involving Dolphins wide receiver Tyreek Hill. We sincerely apologize to Microsoft and Tyreek. I think my don't do this is taking it down.
Yeah.
I don't know. Did they not get permission? I don't feel like the Chargers had that same problem.
No, I don't know what that Microsoft line means.
Well, Microsoft is Minecraft. I think they own it or something like that.
Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense.
All right, let's go on to some baseball. And Jeff Passan, who appeared on the ESPN property, the Pat McAfee show yesterday, where the topic of Paul Skeens was broached. And Jeff,
I love Paul Skeens.
A lot of people like shaking their heads when he brought up this idea that the Pirates maybe, should just trade Paul Skeens.
The Pirates, including 2025, have 5 years of club control before he reaches free agency. If they believe that they have absolutely no chance of signing him, then they should trade him. And you can make the argument that they should trade him now. I'm not going to, because I think the Pirates, with some of the players that they have coming up.
Pause. It's an old sneaky media members trick. And Jeff Passan,
both used it many times.
Thousands. I'm not saying that blank, blank, blank.
Some fans
Some
are
people
saying.
are saying, I wouldn't do it.
Other people
But other people say it's a sneaky ass trick by a guy that I love and respect very much in Jeff Passan. He has called me to the carpet before, and I think it's my turn to call him to the carpet a little bit. When you have a national media pundit like Jeff Passan on the Pat McAfee show, massive viewership, saying, hey, look, I mean, I wouldn't do it personally, but I can see why people want it done. I don't like that very much. Again, Paul Skeens in Pittsburgh is a good thing for Pirates fans. It gives them one shred of hope to hang on to. Now, it's on ownership to get out and spend money to build around Paul Skeens. If they don't do it, that's on them entirely. But who does Jeff want him to go to? You know where he wants him to go. Right? One of three teams. One of three teams. He wants him to go to the Yankees, the Mets, or the Dodgers.
Cubs.
Probably not. Probably
Yankees,
not. Yankees, Mets, Dodgers. You see, the Dodgers have 79 pitchers injured. Can you imagine? And by the way, you know what else? They've got phenomenal prospects now, but those prospects, Zaire Hope, guys like that, Dalton Rushing, who just got called up, they're just prospects. Paul Skeens is a bona fide ace.
I can see Skeens as a Yankee, though.
I can too.
I can see him as a Yankee.
I don't disagree with Jeff Passan even a little bit.
Well, logically, he's right.
Yes, logically, but if you're not
going to invest in your team around him, and the Pirates aren't, you're simply going to waste 5 years of Paul Skeens, and every second he's on the Pirates, he gets less valuable in trade, and he could hurt himself.
I mean, you can get the biggest haul of all time.
Why have a franchise if you're going to have a franchise player and you have him for 1 year, and then you go trade him?
Trading Paul Skeens is not bad for baseball. In fact, it's probably good for baseball if he goes to the bigger market. Unfortunately, the Pirates are what's bad for baseball. The Pittsburgh Pirates are bad for baseball,
honestly,
as currently operating.
If they're not going to spend money, their only chance of winning would be trading Paul Skeens and getting 5 guys who all come up in the big leagues at the same time.
So
let's turn them into a winner. But that's not going to happen.
But again, if they trade him for 5 guys, if they trade him for Zaire Hope and Dalton Rushing and Ben Kasparius and 4 Dodgers prospects, those guys come up, they play a year, they don't compete, time to trade them too with 5 more years of control. When does the cycle end? And to have a national pundit on there going, I know he's only been there a year, better get rid of him if you're not going to.
When you decide to fork over some money and get some actual talented veterans.
But it's only been a year. They're under no rush to trade Paul Skeens. Now, they need to be I don't know that they are. They probably aren't, knowing them. They need to be working on a way to extend him, buy out some ARB years, and let him know, hey, man, we're going to try to build around you. I can't imagine having a
Would you trust them? If you were Paul Skeens,
no, I probably wouldn't.
Hey, Kurt says in the chat, same thing happened with Garrett Cole when he was with the Pirates.
Yeah,
We're talking about the exact same scenario.
20 years later.
They didn't learn then. They haven't learned now.
It's a bummer, man. I mean, yeah, KG, it's trading with 5 years of control is straight insanity. And again, don't fool yourselves into thinking there's not some ulterior motive with the national media. There always is. There is an ulterior motive. As much as they want to get, as much as Verducci and Heyman and Passan, as much as those guys get on shows and bitch about the Rockies and the Pirates.
It's not even that ulterior. You know that the Paul Skeens story, as great of a player as he is, kind of starts dying when he doesn't play in any meaningful games. That's why it was so exciting when they said he's going to play for the Team USA in the WBC, because he's actually going to play in a meaningful game. And he might not. If he stays in Pittsburgh for the next 5 years and then becomes a free agent, that may be 5 years of meaningless games for Paul Skeens. He'll have some gems and hey, highlights. And the Paul Skeens throws a no-hitter as the Pirates improve to 23 games under 500.
Aren't you glad that the Padres held on to Tony Gwynn? Because they had some very, very lean years here with Tony Gwynn. Didn't do a ton of winning. Did Tony Gwynn make you want to go to the ballpark every day?
He did.
Did he make you want to be invested in the San Diego Padres, even though they were terrible and didn't have any good players around him for the most part?
He did.
Same thing. I mean,
will Paul Skeens take the Pittsburgh discount that Tony Gwynn took in San Diego?
I doubt it.
The Pirates play in 2 World Series during Paul Skeens' career.
And they did play in 2 World Series with Tony.
Yeah, they did. But it just bums me out, man. Again, national media, they do it to us here. They do it to us here all the time. Michael King, the whole offseason was like, how do we get Michael King and Dylan Cease and Luis Ariz to the Mets? That's all they talk about. It drives me nuts, man. And again, our ownership has stepped up. They've stepped up in a lot of different ways. It's time for the Pirates to do that, yes, but both things can be true. Having Jeff Passan on Pat McAfee saying, I am not saying they should do it, but I can understand why they would. No, there's no reason they should trade Paul Skeens. None. For prospects who are just prospects. And now you're going to Jeff Bassett, is he trusting the Pirates to develop said prospects then?
Fair. That's
You
fair.
know, it's just, it bums me out, man. It really does.
All right, finally, Paulie got our do this today.
DD mega doo-doo.
Yeah, super cool moment in college baseball yesterday. Now, I didn't know a few parts of this story like even happened in college baseball, but so there is a kid named Andrew Dutton. He's a senior. I think he's like a super, maybe even a super duper senior.
Yeah.
And he plays for Auburn. Well, when I say he plays for Auburn, I mean he's on the roster. Now, he transferred to Auburn to play in their baseball program after 4 years at Birmingham Southern, who they chose to end their program.
They won. They were in the College
door.
World Series. Yeah.
Yep. We talked about it, I think, last year.
Birmingham Southern was in the College World
Yeah.
Series.
Last year.
Maybe was it the actual World Series
Yeah,
or was it the regionals or super region? I don't know. They went on a great run, though. I remember it was such a feel-good story, but then they shut that mother down.
They did the old mighty 1090.
Yes.
They just pulled hey, college is closed.
They stopped paying their
No,
rent.
they were in Division 3.
Division 3? They were in the College World Series.
In Division 3.
Yeah,
Okay.
D3 World Series. So he transfers, gets on with this Auburn team, but does not play a single game. In fact, he was pretty much just the first base coach all year long. Until last night, Auburn is playing Jacksonville State. Auburn is up 18-0 in the bottom of the fifth inning. Good time to get other guys some work who maybe haven't gotten a whole.
Jacksonville State, the Rockies of college baseball.
Andrew Dutton steps up to the plate for his first AB.
And he transferred in here. Of course, Samuel's been outstanding on the mound, but then get a chance to hit and hit a home run.
Way back into the night. Fly, War Eagle, fly.
Look at the Auburn dugout.
His first at bat as an Auburn Tiger. Rips it well into the night in right
That voice
field.
would bother me after
And
a
that
while.
ball is in the witness protection program. Nobody's going to find it. My goodness,
What's
what a
he-
moment.
you
And
gonna-
Auburn is acting like it just won the World Series.
Was he going to listen to the Auburn game tonight? No, absolutely not.
No, I'm good.
Absolutely. Here's the
I
other
like that
thing.
line, though. That ball is in the witness protection program.
Stupid, dude. So they let players coach first base in college. Did I know that? Did I not know this?
I don't know if it's
Kinda
a
like
team
in
by
Little
team
League?
thing. I don't know if San Diego State or USD do that.
They just can't.
Sure.
They don't have enough coaches to.
No, it's
hire
Auburn.
a first base
No,
coach.
they have. It's Auburn. It's not.
They're like a top 10 team, I think.
It's Auburn.
I know in Little League you always had to have a coach in the dugout with the players. So
Yes,
you didn't have a,
gotta have a dugout coach.
Yeah.
Get off the fence! Stop playing with your bats! God,
so you can't send
idiots.
both of your coaches out if you only have two to coach both bases. Someone has to stay in the dugout with the team to make sure. Hey, you're up next.
I'm pretty sure Auburn can afford a first base. I did not know they let. Maybe he's just like a burgeoning coach, and like, no, this guy knows baseball. Throw him out there and coach first base. I didn't know that. David says players are usually base coaches in NCAA. I had no earthly
First
idea.
base.
Some
The
of
first base coach doesn't do that much. No offense, David.
I can't wait to. Well, you know what? We'll ask old Shilty.
All right.
Save that clip, and we'll play it for old Shilty tomorrow. And then
Well, let's be honest.
we'll ask old Shilty what David Macias
third
does.
base coach is the premier base coach spot for base coaches.
Well, sound like Vinny in our chat. Who's their announcer? The general?
General.
And that ball is in the witness protection program. Nobody's going to find it.
For a great low rate, you can save on one.
I got a feeling his partner is just. You can hear his eyes
Go to
roll.
the general and save on time. I got to hear it again now.
General, yeah, I do too.
Get a chance to hit and hit a home run. Wow.
Way back into the night. Fly, War Eagle, fly.
Look at the Auburn dugout.
I can hear it.
That's so good. The general. That's a great one. Thank you, Vinny, for that one.
And do this for a Thursday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
It's so late. Did you ever do the total discount car insurance thing? Like the absolute cheapest, worst coverage you could find?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, dude, come on. At one point, my auto insurance was like $14 a month. In like
Covered nothing. at all.
nothing. Oh yeah. It's like, hey man, once you start paying your own way, you're like, man, I actually had it pretty good when I was a kid. I got to pay this myself.
No rate you can get online. Go to the general and save some time.
He does sound
Wario.
That's the same
That's the
person.
same guy.
It might be the same
All right.
guy.
Somebody do a little research and see if that's the same
Who
guy.
does the general voice? Because
He's
he
also
might
the
call
voice of
Auburn.
He calls Auburn games.
baseball.
I promise you. There's a connection.
For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
And that ball is in the witness
That's
protection
identical.
program. Nobody's going to find it.
Identical.
Oh.
That's fantastic.
Man, speaking of fantastic and laughing, Paula's got some Throwback Thursday clips for us we can get to. We got to take a timeout. We're behind schedule. It's Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. Oh, we're so behind schedule. I've even lost what place.
Go ahead.
I'm talking about SDFatLoss.com. Hello, everybody. Yeah, it is. It was my privilege, actually, to tell you about SDFatLoss.com because it helped me so much. I went through the
Weight
program.
loss plan. You can save online.
Call one. Go to SDFatLoss.com. I lost 40 pounds in 60 days following the program a couple summers ago. I've kept that weight off now for 2 full years. And that really is the difference. It's the maintenance. It's the sustainability of their weight loss plan because it's based not on injections or bars or shakes, but real food that you eat every day from the grocery store. So when you are not on the plan anymore, it's much, much easier to keep the weight off. I am living proof. Right now, you can look at me, you can see me out on the streets and see, hey, no, he definitely lost the weight. He's kept that weight off. Find out how the program can work for you by going to SDFatLoss.com. Schedule your free consultation and still take $200 off here during their spring special in the month of May. Many clients lose 20, 30 pounds or more in a month or two, up to a pound of fat per day lost with SDFatLoss.com. That's SDFatLoss.com. Results may vary.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Padres did not gain any ground or pass the Dodgers last night. Dodgers did pick up a 9-3 win over the Athletics in the second game of their series. They will play the final game today. They got a bunch of home runs. Shohei hit one. Hai-Sung Kim hit his first career home run, and Max Muncy all went deep in the 9-3 win for the Dodgers. And interesting game. Diamondbacks and Giants wrapped up their series yesterday. Diamondbacks hit a lot of home runs as well. Eugenio Suarez has 13 of them now.
Ketel Marte 4 in one game. That
helps. Yeah. Ketel Marte hit 2 in one game yesterday. Diamondbacks built like an 8-1 lead and then held on for an 8-7 win to take 2 out of 3 in the series. So Dodgers and Padres are right there, separated by a half game. I think it's another like 3 games back to the Giants and another 2 games back now to the Arizona Diamondbacks in the NL West. And the Rockies, I could not tell you how far back. They lost again 8-3 to the Texas Rangers, who won their 5th straight game.
7-36, the worst start of any team through 43 games in the modern era.
It kind of still irks me that one of the 7
it was us. I know.
Against the San Diego Padres.
No doubt.
I mean, again, you probably weren't going to win all.
What are you,
13 games?
5-1 against them this year?
Yeah, you're 5-1
Much
so
better
far,
than last year so far.
Yeah, it's just kind of irks. They've only won 7, but one of them was against the San Diego Padres this season. Elsewhere in the National League, Phillies and Cardinals played a doubleheader. In the first game, the Phillies won, snapping the Cardinals' 9-game winning streak. Jesus Luzardo pitched 7 innings and allowed just 1 earned run, but Cardinals started a new winning streak in Game 2, beating the Phillies 14-7. Look at old friend alert. Ryan Weathers pitches 5 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run. The Miami Marlins avoid a sweep by beating the Cubs yesterday, 3-1. And, I mean, like we said, sometimes the best teams lose to the worst teams. The New York Mets, who have been as good and hot as anyone in the National League, got shut out by 5 Pittsburgh Pirates pitchers. None of them named Paul Skeens. 6-hit shutout as the Pirates beat the Mets 4-0 yesterday. And the Nationals beat the Braves 5-4. James Wood, another old friend alert, had the go-ahead RBI double in the 8th inning to lift the Nationals to the win. The Braves have finally climbed back to 500. Now they're back a game below 500, but have been playing mostly better baseball as of late.
I mean, don't look now, but the Central Division in the AL is like one of the most exciting divisions in baseball. It's pretty nuts. Minnesota Twins had to win 10 straight games to get their record 3 games over 500. That's the horrible start they got off to.
Got 9-10 yesterday as they swept a doubleheader from the lowly Orioles.
The Orioles at 15-26. Does Brandon Hyde see Monday for that team? I can't imagine. Now, when do they? There's still so much baseball left to play, guys. As we talked to Adam Jones last week, still plenty of time for teams to turn it around, Ben. Their run differential is -70. At some point, you're not going to go out and acquire an entire starting rotation. And I don't know how many guys they're getting back that will help them. At what point do they say, all right, let's regroup? The new owner, we talked to Adam Jones. He said, look, this guy's feeling feeling his way around this, and I maybe has a little bit of sticker shock at how much it actually costs to run a competitive and good organization. He will get there. He's got the money to do it. They are in a world of hurt. I mean, a world of hurt right now. They are 2-8 in their last 10, Benny. They are.
It's such a dilemma because they were supposed to be right at the beginning of their window.
Correct.
Like the last couple of years.
It was like a nice lead up.
Like, got such a great young nucleus. So they have, cheap enough players that they'll have money to spend to augment. Now, they didn't spend to keep Corbin Burns.
They got Kyle Gibson.
A lot of people thought they'd still be really good this year, including me, who made them his World Series pick. That's not looking great. So what do you do when it all falls apart? Do you trade some of those young superstars? Or
I wouldn't say superstars, but you can trade some of the guys that you have banging down the door in the big, for the big leagues. You can, people want to, and again, I don't know what
you're saying they need to add more, not subtract. Usually when you play this bad, as you just said, they may not be able to save it this season.
No, that's what I'm saying.
You're not looking to add players. You're looking to shed players at this point.
Yeah. I mean, again, you want to keep rebuild, but it's like, why would I trade a prospect? The only reason you would trade a prospect that's banging on the door for another maybe lower level prospect is because they don't have a place to play.
But would you trade someone who's already a superstar at the big league
no,
level?
You're not trading Adley. You're not trading Gunnar. You're not trading Jackson Holiday. You're not trading those guys. Why would you trade those?
Because it's not working for you on the big league level.
Yeah.
So you still think that they're at the beginning of their window?
No, I'm thinking they're having a crap year after two really good ones, and that these guys, to learn how to win, you got to learn how to lose as well a little bit. And I think, I do think they'll get there. You need to add pitching. So if you have to go move some of those guys for younger arms that are developing arms, I think you do that. Some of the guys that aren't going to have a position at the big league level, that can't find ABs consistently. Yeah, you can make some moves, certainly. Who's out there, who's available? I don't know, but I know it's gone south quickly in Baltimore.
Well, I don't think you want to spend any of your capital to try to get better this year.
That's the thing, is I don't think you do either. I think you're plotting and planning for the future.
But it also feels like doing nothing at all doesn't feel right either.
Right.
To sit on your hands and just hope it gets better next year. I mean, obviously you'll retool in the offseason, but I don't know.
I mean, again, like you're not going to trade Gunnar Henderson. You're not going to trade Adley Rutschman, and you're not going to trade Jackson Holiday.
You trade them all for Paul Skeens right now.
No, you don't, because you just have to fill 3 holes. And again, the guys coming up, I don't think they're as good as those guys that are there currently. So they would have a place to play, but they're not as good as those guys are currently. Yeah, you don't get rid of young, cheap talent like that unless you're looking to improve your team long term. But yeah, you're not going out and looking for a starting pitcher today. If you're the Baltimore Orioles, I don't think. I mean, there's still a lot of games left. They could say, hey, you know what? Let's try to right the ship.
I want to read one of the comments in the chat, but we're a little behind on traffic. So let's get a quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic sponsored by Sedano Ford. Got a crash in National City, northbound side of the 805 Palm Avenue. A couple vehicles blocking the fast lane. This Memorial Day at local and veteran-owned Sedano Ford. You have choices to make. Choose the Escape Active or Bronco Sport Big Bend for only $219 a month. Plus, Sedano Ford's mobile service will come to your home or work at no extra charge. Get all the details now at SedanoFord.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
I know I teased our Throwback Thursday, but Woods is hesitant on any of the clips that we have. So I don't know. I mean, it's usually you who leans into the cringe, but you feel like it's too cringy to play.
No, I just feel like I'm going to play it out.
You don't want to?
He says it like you say it like every other week. You're like, I feel like we play this every time. I'm like, yeah, we play it every year, right around this time.
Once a year. That's it.
Years are flying by.
No one's heard it in a year at least. All right. Curtis in the chat says it's funny how sports media has made it that as soon as someone has a bad season, the narrative is trade everyone. I don't think that's a sports media narrative. That's just a sports narrative.
I think it's a baseball narrative because you don't see it a lot in football. You don't really see it a lot in basketball.
I think the idea that
baseball is where you see it.
But I think the idea that in football, you have injuries, you have a bad season, you can have a good season the next year.
Well, and you can completely retool your team with your draft. You can draft 8 guys, 6 of them
You can
start.
turn
You
around
know?
Impact players
In baseball,
immediately.
if you have a truly bad 162 game season, you know why? It's because you're a bad team. You can't have a good team that has a really bad 162 game season. So there's really no time for patience with a bad team and then hoping it gets better. Now you can have a really young team that's bad and you let them grow into it for a couple of years, but the Orioles were good. Orioles were a playoff team the last couple of years.
They won 100 games.
Now what are they? They're a bad team, and they're like not a fake bad team. They're a real bad team right now. So if you do nothing, and guess what? You come back next year and you're a bad team, then you're like a negligent front office. Like you took a bad team, you didn't do it, you just said, hey, no, they're just having a bad year. Let's let them do it again next year. Then they have another bad year. Guess what? You're fired. You can't let a team have 2 bad years in a row without doing anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't 2 bad years in a row for them. This is
This is the first one.
This is the first one. And again, season's not over by a long stretch at all. But when you look at what they have on the bump every 5th day, Ben, it's not good. And you saw that run differential of -80 or whatever. Like, going to be tough.
Curtis says, happy we didn't trade everyone Padres after 2021 and 2023. AJ did.
They did.
He had huge, massive reconstruction of the teams both years to try to get better.
Yeah.
Both years. No, he didn't.
He didn't
not
trade
gonna
Tatis,
everybody,
right.
but you gotta move some guys and make big changes. All right, we're 2 hours in. We will come back. Eno Sarris in our 3rd hour. Take on our real or fake next as well on 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Thursday. Ben and Woods 97.3, The Fan. Just a gentle reminder to you guys, we will be on until 11. Today we got the roundtable, which should be light and airy, after a series win against the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim. Padres playing really, really well right now, and we'll see what old malcontent Ben Higgins has come up with to try to elicit a soundbite from me, Tony Gwynn Jr., Chris Ello, Matt Scraby, and Braden Soprenet. That comes up at 11.
Well, we got to talk about the whole
10.
week. You can't just talk about the last two games.
It's been a great week.
Have a long discussion about why is Fernando Tatis Jr. so sad.
Sulky.
Please don't.
You better not even bring it up.
You're not sitting there. You don't care.
That's true. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl, executive
Still have
producer.
pride in this radio station and the content that goes out over its airwaves.
Yes,
By the way,
true.
we talked about it.
Let me introduce you. You're Ben Higgins,
hi,
friendly neighborhood
everybody.
sports anchor.
Yeah, we talked about it yesterday, and then I didn't read until after the show some of the comments that Fernando made after the game last night to Kevin Acee in his newsletter. And he actually did admit, he said, yeah, just for a few days, just wasn't feeling great. For whatever reason. I don't know if he wouldn't say it was an illness specifically, but he just felt kind of a little down in the dumps. That's why he didn't feel like the stutter stepping around third base when he hit the home run.
So a human being can have different emotions.
He totally admitted that it just wasn't feeling
right,
fantastic and right for a few days. Now,
Been there a
despite
lot.
that, he continued to
produce,
get on base, not at record levels, but certainly at competent Major League Baseball levels, and then broke out of it with a giant walk-off home run and looked pretty happy when he rounded the bases.
Looked very happy when he rounded the bases and did a 6-foot high stutter step.
We just talked about it earlier this week, mental health and being supportive and aware. And just because you're a Major League Baseball player who makes a ton of money doesn't make you happy all the time. There's no person who is
You're not
always
immune to feelings.
happy all the time. And over a 162 game season, a grind in a sport that is predicated on failure, if you're a hitter, you're going to go through, even if you're not in a slump, you're going to go through weeks where you don't feel great about yourself. And Tatis said, I didn't like my at-bats. I was doing okay, but I just didn't like where I was. He may still not be totally in love with where he is right now, but what is truly the sign of a professional player? That they can go through those periods and weather them, still produce for their team, still be a good teammate, and then come out the other end, hopefully, and get onto a hot streak.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's you have the two factions of people that basically says, hey, man, you're getting paid a lot of money. You need to go out there and perform for me every night. You got to perform. It just doesn't work that way. It just doesn't. He is absolutely entitled to bad days. Everybody is. I think to the guy or gal driving to work this morning, about to stare down like a 12-hour day for $50,000 a year, you're like, oh, cry me a river. I get it. I totally understand your perspective as well. But I'm, like Ben said, it doesn't solve everything. Everybody goes through it no matter what you do. And I think the pressure can be pretty gnarly at times. The internal pressure of wanting to perform and be great all the time. It's not sustainable over the long haul, right? I mean, I like that he has feelings. I like that he's different. I don't necessarily like when he gets so down in the dumps. You're like, bro, you look like somebody shot your dog. You okay? But again, the ability to rise back to the occasion, put together a great AB, win a ball game for you. He can that now he knows next time this happens to me, you learn from it. Next time this happens to me, I absolutely can get through this. I always think about the young ball players, and I've talked to many a young ball player, like guys that were in the minors, and they're like, you've never experienced loneliness when you're slumping in the minor leagues. Like you've never experienced anything like it. And you're looking over your shoulder every minute of the day, like, who's that kid? Who's that kid? Is that a new guy? What's he doing here? Where's he playing? Why is he taking fly balls in center field? I'm a center fielder. They're asking you to do things you've never done. You're away from home. They're like, it's the loneliest place in the world. How do you cope with that? Well, you drink 14 beers a night, and then you don't make it. And then what happens? then you're out of the game,
you're
and now you have nothing to
wildly
fall back on.
depressed.
So yeah, it's so gnarly. I have so much sympathy for those guys.
I can almost promise you that despite a hugely successful career, being as level-headed of a veteran as you possibly can be, have a World Series title under your belt, Jason Hayward quietly was like,
oh God,
Brandon Lockridge is starting ahead of me
against the soft-throwing righty.
Soft-throwing right-hander, and now I'm sitting on the bench, and I didn't get into this game.
Correct.
And he had probably a not great moment about that yesterday, but he's a pro and he will do what he needs to do, but it doesn't feel good. That's part of being a professional athlete.
I think just be yourself. If you're sad, be sad. If you're happy, be happy. Trying to fake your way through it, it doesn't work necessarily all the time, but yeah, nice to know, hey, I wasn't feeling myself, and searching a little bit. It happens to all the great ones. It's happened to all of them.
Kevin Acey also has pointed out that in the recent week or so, Tatis has had a lot of calls go against him, and the first one, he hits a walk-off home run. First pitch yesterday he faces is a curveball. It's about foot low.
Yeah.
Umpire strike one. Yeah. You can see Tatis going,
he's like, come on.
What?
Well, what do they say, man? When it rains, it pours, and it's just one of those cycles of the baseball season. He's been there long enough to know now how to weather it, and he's got, again, a lot of guys he can lean on. Certainly, there are guys that make it look easy every single night. It's not. It's absolutely not. But yeah, man, Hunter makes a good point. Hendricks does have severe reverse splits. Yeah,
he
for
does.
sure.
Yeah.
But again, it's if you're Jay Hay, you're like, I'll take my chances with Kyle Hendricks. He would want to be in the lineup every day after 16 years in the big leagues.
Yeah, my bat's been a little slow lately. This speeds it up a little bit facing a guy like that.
And again, those guys know. You're like, oh God, I'm not performing, and he is, and it's hard. I am very sympathetic.
You must be so conflicted. I mean, you want to be happy your teammate came through.
Yeah,
in a big spot. Big hit for Brandon Lockridge last night, but Jason Hayward, you're going, I wonder if he's going to be in the starting lineup again on Friday.
And it's funny. Purple says the radio broadcast was talking about how he admitted he felt like he was getting a lot of poor calls against him, and he let it affect his mood. If you coach at any level, I tell my kids all the time, like, hey, you got to flush it. You got to move on. What's my favorite saying? So what? You got a bad call against you. So what? You still got an AB. Yeah, you flush it. So what? Whatever. And then you see a big leaguer that makes a ton of money, who's one of the greatest players in the world, letting it affect him. You're messing with my message here, Fernando. It's just a human nature. It's human nature. So I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it.
We're all just people.
Just a human. Yeah. That's it. Good days, bad days.
Of course.
Yeah.
And I think everyone, even the fan who is the hardest on the players, if you really reflected and said, do I really expect them for 162 games to be at their absolute best and cheeriest every single one of those days without one bad day ever because they're making too much money to have a bad day? No one really believes that, right?
Exactly.
No one actually believes that.
Exactly. Yeah. Alicia in the chat says, I think Tatis Jr. did have a health scare, or Tatis Sr. had a health scare recently. And yeah, I mean, look, so many things can affect you. But I went through one with my mom last year. It affected me on a daily basis. You're just worried sick. And, it definitely affected my performance every single day. Everybody has these things that goes on. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
No one is immune to out of work problems, sometimes affecting your on the job.
Yep.
Sometimes you just wake up and you're tired.
Sometimes
and
you just feel like ass.
Explanation
yes,
for
you're
it.
just like, oh, it's. I absolutely get it. The travel, the rain delays, all of it. You're just like, oh my God. To us, going out and playing ball every day, oh, it must be a dream. It's a dream for sure. And they wouldn't trade it, but man,
it's also a grind.
It's a grind. Those guys grind it out.
I get to live my dream job.
Same. Every day.
Every single
day. And it's a grind.
It's a grind. Absolutely.
And you're not making $25 million. I get it.
Yesterday was a real grind. Totally dream job. Every single day.
The best part is today's even going to be a bigger grind for you.
Grindier.
Yes.
No game to stay. See, I had to stay late last night because I had to wait until the Padres and SDFC games were done. So I got out a little bit later than usual. Tonight, no extra sports. So hopefully,
but extra sports on the radio.
But yes, we have a whole roundtable for the next, hour at 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock.
What can we expect today?
Oh, okay. A little roundtable tease for you.
I like the 7th inning stretch. We should do a bunch of those.
You want me to tell? Well,
you don't have a draft today, do
It's
you?
funny. Actually, I do. It's also the 7th inning stretch combined, and it is it's somewhat Eddie Vedder themed, as will be our game of real or fake.
Oh, good.
Coming up in just a couple of minutes. If you want to get online and be our contestant, you can call in at any time now, 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. We'll certainly talk about the left field situation with Jason Hayward because, you can't be all positive all the time on the round table. But I will let you start thinking of our first question, and that is, quarter of the way through the season, no, not letter grade, but remember the first round table we all gave
You tried
out.
to do letter grades on Monday when you were out.
No, he didn't.
I
shut it down.
I wasn't.
Thank you, Paulie, for carrying on. Hold on.
There was only one grade
Hold
that
on.
you could give. It was an A. I just wanted to make sure everyone agreed.
I said Woods takes one day off.
One
He's
day
got
off.
headaches. He's not feeling well, and we're just reverting back to letter grades.
Letter grades. Grade the Padres. What is wrong with you? We've worked so hard.
It was a very short conversation. I said, if you don't give them an A, you're really not being honest. It's an A. It was an A.
But Paulie,
remember,
thanks for carrying on the integrity of this program.
Remember,
Thank you.
We gave out our win predictions. You said what?
You guys had the Boise State beat writer on to talk about it? Anything?
No, did Mount Rushmore.
Did Mount Rushmore? What?
What was your initial win prediction for the Padres?
77.
It was shockingly low.
No, it was 500, and then after they started off really hot, I said I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go 77.
We're going to revise again.
All right, I'm going to go 67.
Quarter of the way through the season.
67.
Woods, you can go even
because they're going to be the worst team in baseball.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go. So that my expectations are exceeded.
They're barely going to win once a week going forward.
Correct.
Very
67 games.
So we're gonna look forward again coming up in the round table in just a little bit. See, now in the chat, Drew says talking sports all day doesn't really seem like a grind,
buddy. My son, it's great that he brings this up. So last night we're watching the game together, but I'm on my phone while I'm watching the game. He goes and he called me out because we're pretty strict about screen times in our home because my kids turn into Ed Kemper, raving lunatic, after 20 minutes on the iPad. They're like, ugh! So he goes, Dad, you're like a screenager. And I go, buddy, here's what you don't understand. I said, I got a 4-hour show tomorrow. I don't have anything. I got to find something while I'm loving on you, watching this game. I'm scrolling to look for any other stories that we can do tomorrow. I got to find something. He goes, all right, I get it. And I said, it's an easy gig if you don't care, Drew, about.
He said it wasn't meant to be an insult.
No.
Which is fine, Drew. I don't think it's a grind necessarily.
It's a grind someday.
A PGA Tour golfer. I mean, I love golf.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that job would be a grind if you had to do it every single day.
The biggest.
I don't think there's any job that isn't a grind when you're doing it every single day. This is an easy job. This is a fun job.
It's a fun job.
Anytime you are required to be somewhere for an extended period
do
of time
something
and do something that you were paid to do, it will become a grind to you at some point.
Musician, you're like, man, this is the best. Look at all these girls, all these drugs and alcohol. All right, get in the van. We got to drive to Indianapolis. It's a 6-hour bus ride. You're like, oh my God, I'm a rock star though. Like, it's a nightmare. It would be a nightmare. So I'm sympathetic to these guys grind every single day because they all are. This is a good topic. What is a job that's not a grind? Is there a job that's not a grind?
I think the word job is pretty
synonymous.
much synonymous with a grind. Now, are there fun jobs? Absolutely.
What about if you're a gigolo?
Grind. Grind.
How do you know?
I think it probably would be.
When have you ever dabbled in gigoloism?
Anytime you have to do something versus choosing to do something, it becomes a grind.
So
again,
good.
I'm not complaining. I'm just pointing it out that baseball players, pro golfers, whatever it is, guys who talk sports on the radio.
Okay, Curtis is son of a billionaire trust fund dad. That's not a job, though. And also, I think there's a mental grind of like, well, where's my flag to plant?
I'm sure that not every single one of them is completely mentally healthy.
Mac Daddy says ocean lifeguard, and it's still a grind. Yeah, you're absolutely right.
you get to
sitting
sit-
out there.
you get to
You're
sit
watching
on
the
that
water all
tower,
day.
watching the waves all day. You probably one rescue a day, and otherwise you're just getting the tan all day. That's not a grind. That's we call that vacation. We pay
pay for that.
money to go do that.
But that
on
lifeguard's
vacation.
working, dude. He's
But
working.
He's got to be there.
He's not
you
drinking
know?
Mai Tais.
He's got responsibilities.
Sunburned.
All of a sudden, it becomes
It's hot.
a grind.
There's little kids out in the water. You're like, oh, God. No, it's a grind. SD Fritz says drug dealer isn't the grind. Get out of here. 100% is. Or is that the cops? Are the cops knocking at my door?
You sure you're not a cop?
This guy's called me at 3 o'clock in the morning again. He's writing me a check. No, I'm not going to take your VCR for drugs, buddy. It's a grind. I think everything is a grind.
Ben Higgins wants to meet up again.
Here he comes again. Guy can't get enough.
Needs another taste.
Anthony says, I work from home. I don't do crap half the day. It's still a grind. Yeah, that's true.
Yes.
DG says, is Adam's job a grind? Maybe the biggest in the building.
Oh,
you kidding me?
Yeah, huge grind.
All right,
Huge,
we will
huge
come back. We will play a little real or fake, and then we've got Eno Sarris at the bottom of the hour with Ben Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
I'll tell you what was a huge grind is when we used to get the water bottles delivered to our home. I would pull in from work and I'd go, 4 giant bottles I had to lug in, put up on the machine, blub, 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 wait for it, store the other 3. It was a nightmare. It was a total nightmare and a grind. We got the Eco Water system put in. It's so easy. It's so easy. The best water that you've ever had as well. Also, we know that our pipes are now safe. Our appliances are now safe. Our water heater, all of that, because we've got soft water, and that's from Eco Water 1,000%. You should try the Soft Life today, and alkaline water for just $9.95 a month. It is the best water you'll ever have. Skin feels better. Coffee is next level. The kids are happy. Hannah's happy. Everybody's happy with Eco Water. Become a hero in your household like I did and get the Eco Water system put in. We just got it at work. Everybody here is drinking fresh, delicious Eco Water every single day. Call 760-350-3338. They'll do a free in-home water test for you, or go to ecowatersocal.com. Let them know Woodsy sent you. Not everything in life should be hard, especially your water. Keeping it soft since 1925.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Right now,
the chat on grindy jobs, and my contention is they're all grindy. That's what makes.
I don't think
job.
there's a job out there like at least like a full time you can
make
live,
money,
not just a side gig. I do it once a week,
right,
once every month or something. Like a full time job that is fun, enjoyable. You love it every single moment of every single day. That isn't a grind.
Yeah, if I could make six figures to go out and play golf once a week, that would not be a grindy job.
What
that
are you
would
doing
be
the other
fantastic.
6
I have
days?
no idea,
That's the thing. That's the real grind, as KG said. Having nothing to do, also a grind sometimes.
There are easy jobs that you probably even make good money, but like there's aspects of it. Like I'm like looking at it, I'm like, that sounds boring as hell.
Paulie pulled up the 10 easiest jobs. And he started. He read the first 3.
10
and
simple, high-paying jobs.
Okay, well, simple. That's different. Because the first 3 he listed, I go, they're not simple, and they would be very grindy. We'll save that for 9.
You know what?
I can do this all day. Just so you know,
I find it very fun to come up every day with either a game of Take on Woods or Real or Fake.
It's grindy.
It's also kind of a grind. But I do it because I love you all. It is time for today's game of Real or Fake.
Some are here for the compelling sports talk with Ben and Woods. You can go plow through another donut. It's time for Real or Fake on 97.3 The Fan. Tell the people what they'll win today.
Prize. If you can get 4 out of 7 right, qualifying for our grand prize, it is a trip to Las Vegas to see Bruno Mars at the Dolby Live at Park MGM on September 3rd, a 2-night stay at the Park MGM and a $100 gift card. Tickets are on sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Our contestant is David. Is that correct? David, let's bring you on the air. Good morning.
Yes, that's correct. Good morning.
All right.
David, good morning.
Real or Fake is brought to you by Bay Alarm, security and fire alarms for every business. We got you. I got a new rule I'm instituting today.
Poor David.
Sorry, I don't want to be the tough guy, but we've had a number of contestants who just rely on Woods every single answer. You get one phone a friend for Woods.
One?
That's it. One.
Oh,
Is
man.
that just this week or is
No,
that
this
this
is
week?
going forward. This is now this week in particular. I feel like Woods might be awfully good at this category because tomorrow, David, marks the start of the first officially sanctioned Vetter Cup as the Padres host the Mariners.
Yep.
So Eddie Vedder is the theme for today's game. I will give you a song title.
Oh.
You tell me if it's a real single released by Pearl Jam
All
over
right.
the past 3 decades or a fake I have come up with to fool you. I'm assuming Woods knows a few of these, if not all of them, David, but you get to ask only once. How about you? You a Pearl Jam fan, David?
Oh yeah, hopefully.
All right.
Pretty good at this, but let's
Trust that I did not pick their biggest hits.
Oh,
These
yeah.
are deeper tracks. So here we go. Round number 1. Real or fake Pearl Jam? Silhouette Mercy. Real or fake?
Well, what's mercy? I'm gonna go fake.
Gonna go fake?
Same.
Fake is correct. All right, you're 1 for 1. Haven't even
Okay.
used your phone a friend.
Sorry.
Round number 2. Life Wasted. Real or fake? Life Wasted.
I'm gonna say real.
It
Is it real? Woodsy's got it. You've got it. 2 for 2. We're hot. All right, round number 3. Blasphemy. Real or fake Pearl Jam song? Blasphemy.
I'm gonna say fake.
Fake.
Oh, you guys are good. All right, round number 4. Bleed the Static. Real or fake Pearl Jam song? Finally, Woods looks a little maybe thinking about this one. David, for the win.
I'm gonna go fake.
Fake.
I'm gonna go fake.
Wow!
Yeah.
Well done, Woods. Very easy
Give me
game.
the rest.
Retrograde.
Real.
Correct. Can't Deny Me.
Real.
Hollow Lantern.
Fake.
Wow.
Woo.
Solid performance today.
You should have grinded a little harder.
Hollow
apparently,
Lantern.
making that category.
Hollow Lantern? He's looking at stuff in your yard?
That's how real or fake works.
Empty cup. It's fake, by the way. Plate. Fake. Silverware drawer. Tampon. Oh, those are fake, Ben.
Well, you know, songs. You need to be
Looking.
anything.
Hollow Lantern. What were the other ones? Bleed the what?
Silhouette Mercy,
What's
Blasphemy, and Bleed the Static.
Bleed the Static.
Nearly full garbage can. Shoes on the floor.
Oh, so good.
David, hang on the line. Paulo will get your information, get you into the drawing for the grand prize trip to Las Vegas. We got Eno Sarris, some smart baseball. Padres, are they going to a 6-man rotation with you, Darvish? Is that the way to go? Talk about that and more coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Memorial Day certainly hits different at Sedano Ford. Our pal Manny Sedano isn't just the owner. He is a veteran. It's a locally owned dealership. It's all about serving our beloved community of San Diego. Right now, it is mega sale time. All month long in La Mesa, the deals are locked in. Drive home the 2025 Ford F-150 Lightning XLT for just $129 a month. It's all electric, packed with torque. I'm telling you, I'm seeing these things everywhere right now. You cannot beat that price, just $129 a month. Or the Escape Active or Bronco Sport Big Ben. Your pick, just $219 a month. Tech savvy and smooth for the Escape. The Bronco Sport, you've seen it. It's got everything you need, man. It is such a beautiful, beautiful automobile. What size? If you want size and strength, the Ford F-150 XL Super Crew Cab, just $299 a month. Room for the crew, muscle for any job that you need. Keeping it running is so easy. Sedano Ford Mobile Service. They'll come right to your home or office. No waiting rooms. No hassle when you go in. Let them know Woodsy sent you, please. For more details about these offers, please check out SedanoFord.com. It's SedanoFord.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
I wonder if Eno Sarris considers his job to be a grind sometimes.
After a Fish concert, I promise you he does. I guarantee it.
My contention, and I've seen people agree and disagree, at some point every job becomes a grind. Even baseball player, whatever. No one's going to have a good day every single day. But, however you deal with it, you deal with it. We will talk to Eno Sarris. Our Smart Baseball segment is coming up after a quick check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, your 15-minute drive-through oil change. Looks like the road's starting to wind down pretty nicely around the county. Crash has cleared on northbound 805 near Palm Avenue, so speed's improving there. Accident on northbound 15 to the East 8 connector ramp. That's over to the right shoulder. San Diego, before you cruise out this Memorial Day, stop by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. No appointment needed, just 15 minutes and your road trip ready. Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Experts you can trust. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's time for the super polished, yet to be named Smart Baseball Weekly segment with Eno Sarris, son of a bitch. Brought to you by 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from the ballpark, by the bay in Chula Vista. Here's Eno Sarris with Ben & Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
And we welcome Eno Sarris from The Athletic with us. Good morning, Eno. How are you?
Doing great. You?
Good.
Pretty good. We're grinding.
Yeah, grinding. On that grind.
You know what? I want to ask you, because I know you put a lot of thought and work and care into what you do, Stuff Plus models, but not always going to be 100% accurate. How do you account? Like Randy Vasquez, I'd imagine his Stuff Plus numbers are pretty
not great.
Pretty not good, Bob. But you know what? He's been looking pretty good on the mound for the San Diego Padres. How do you kind of account for a guy like Randy Vasquez? Do you just assume he's going to fall off the edge of the cliff at some point, or are there guys who can defy and still be good pitchers without having great stuff?
Are pretty good, actually.
Oh, really? Not bad.
So until this year, he was above average in Stuff Plus. And, that was on the strength of a fastball that was a little better in years past. He was 94 plus with the Yankees and last year with the Padres, and this year it's more like 93. The four-seam fastball has been better in the past than it is now. But the one thing that has been there for him always are the breaking balls. And in specific, that curveball has been so super huge for him. And so just to have two good breaking balls, and then, I think the thing that, this year he has a 96 stuff plus. That's, close enough to average to say he has average stuff. I think the thing that has really made it work for him this year more than anything is really leaning into the three fastballs with the two breaking balls. And that's something that's kind of a trend in baseball. The way I say it is this. Let's say you have a great fastball and not a good breaking ball, like you're Andrew Haney or something. Andrew Haney is doing pretty well with the Pirates right now because he's throwing his fastball in three mediocre breaking balls. If you don't have a good one, throw three of them, And so,
like a slider, a sweeper.
Yeah, he's throwing a slider, sweeper, and a curve.
That's crazy. So that's nuts to me. Like, my fastball's good, my off speed sucks. I'm just going to throw different off speed instead of trying to hone in on one, because I guess that makes you more readable, more discoverable. Oh, he's a fastball, curveball guy. Fastball's good, curveball's average. Sit on the fastball.
The one that breaks a little bit left to right.
That's
or is
crazy.
this one that breaks a little bit up to down.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and Casey Mize is trying the same thing. He's a fastball splitter guy in Detroit. He's just throwing three breaking balls on top of that fastball splitter. And the opposite, is more common. I have a great breaking ball, and my fastballs aren't that good. That's a somewhat common problem in baseball. And the Phillies, the Mets, a couple other teams have really leaned into, hey, let's make sure that all of our guys throw multiple fastballs. You guys have heard me say that's what I want for Dylan Cease.
Yeah.
And what Randy does is like, the hard stuff isn't great, any single one of them. But if you're a hitter who's trying to sit on the hard stuff, let's say you sit four seam and you get cutter, you're just not going to make good contact. Yeah. And that's a Randy Vasquez start, right? Like there's some walks, there's some strikeouts, and there's not really great contact. And I think that's part of it is they might sit fastball, get sinker, they might sit cutter, get fastball, so he's just mixing up the stuff that's not as good. And then, he knows he can always go to a breaking ball when he needs.
Yeah, any count, right? Like he can throw his breaking ball any count, and it be an effective pitch for him. Eno Sarris joins us right now, and a couple weeks ago when Ben was out, we asked you about Dylan Cease. He's really put together a couple of really nice starts. You're kind of the one that said, "Don't worry about Dylan. He's gonna figure it out." Found the bite on his slider, certainly. Didn't get a lot of run support, but yeah, man, has really, really looked good and looked like the Dylan Cease that we're accustomed to seeing here in San Diego.
Yeah, I always believe in his stuff, and just even when I'm saying, "Oh, you should throw a cut" or whatever, it's just that's more like a longevity thing. Like I just think it would be good for his longevity to throw a bunch of fastballs just like everybody else, because at some point he won't have the same kind of plus fastball that he has right now. But right now it's really working. You could see he's already starting to mix a little bit of that sinker in, and I think a cutter would help. But the other thing is that I think his mechanics kind of go in and out a little bit, and I think that's where the command problems come. So on the other hand, maybe just having a really simple repertoire is what he needs. He needs to have a simple repertoire and simple mechanics to not run into these these high walk situations.
Yu Darvish made a rehab start last night at AAA. It went pretty well, and there's a decent chance he won't need to make another one and will return to the Padres rotation as soon as next week. If they do so, there's talk that they may go with the six-man rotation with a lot of games, not many off days going up. Do you notice any difference when teams go to six-man rotations? Are you a fan of that strategy, especially in a busy part of the schedule?
Generally, extra rest is good. I've also seen research that every pitch a pitcher throws over the course of the season makes them a little bit worse. And so, reducing the workload on their starters is probably a good idea. So some teams are very top heavy, and I mean, to some extent, like even the Padres, you would rather have more starts from Dylan Cease and Michael King than Randy Vasquez, right? Like, I mean, as much as we love Randy, right? Like, you'd rather have those guys start more games. And if you go to a 6-man rotation, what you're doing is you're diluting how many starts. You might get 1 or 2 fewer starts from your studs. But I think the benefits at the end of the season are there. And I know the Padres are in it, for the division, but they're also in it for the wild card, and they're also really focused on October success, And I think to have October success, keeping everybody healthy, maybe giving them an extra day of rest, I think that could be as valuable as anything. And it can even help the bullpen, because you give them the extra day of rest and they go into the 6th and 7th instead of having to leave in the 5th, then you save your bullpen, and you don't use your bullpen so hard that in October they're gassed. So there's a lot of ancillary benefits, and it might come at the cost of 1 or 2 starts for King and Cease. And I think that those things outweigh that.
October success, is something that a lot of teams think about. And my tinfoil hat conspiracy that I'm 10% believe it's true, that none of these Dodgers pitchers are actually injured. They're just sitting back on them. They're phantom ILing them so that they are fresh and ready to go for the second half push for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Well,
that's literally my theory.
Here's a little, just a slight sort of rewording that, is something that I've been thinking about, which is, everyone sort of looks at days missed as a great metric for, oh my God, the injury problem is so bad,
Yes.
And I look at, I've been looking at Tommy John surgery. Tommy John surgery has leveled out. We are not actually seeing more Tommy, the rate of increase, it's basically plateaued. And yet days missed has gone up. I think these things are related. I think what we're doing is more preventative days missed.
Instead of necessary days missed because you're actually
hurt.
Yeah. I'm serious.
So,
I'm looking at the list going, all right.
Baseball load management?
Baseball load management a little bit, which is what
I'm saying it is.
Yeah.
If you're not 100%, we're not going to put you out there.
Yeah.
It used to be I'm 95, I'll figure it out. Now it's what? No, sorry. You're 95%? No, that's not good. You gotta at least miss this start, right? Oh, you're down to 89%. All right. Let's just take a 10-day break.
Yep. Yeah. No, I look, there's and you watch when all these guys get off the IL, how good that team potentially could look. Because I see the updated list tweeted out every day, and I go, my God, and they're still winning. They know that they've got enough firepower offensively and in the bullpen right now that are healthy that they can go out and still, take every series they play in. Certainly. So I looked at it and I went, there might be a little bit of load management for these guys. It would be an interesting one.
Rocky's fastball was down 4 miles an hour.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, for
Probably
sure.
hurt.
For sure. I wanted to ask you, talking to Eno Sarris too, our pal, mutual friend Jake Mentz wrote a really great piece about the Colorado Rockies this week. And, Bud Black was on the chopping block, lost his gig. What Jake found when he discovered, and you retweeted it and said, yeah, I had suspected the same thing. How far behind other teams are the Colorado Rockies analytically?
What's the line from Moneyball? They're
50 feet of crap.
Then there's the Colorado Rockies. Yeah.
And I think, the thing that got me, and probably you too, is when you read it, the fact that they sit around and laugh at other teams that are investing so much with their arms crossed.
Proprietary models.
Right. They're like, these idiots, what are they doing? And it's like, could you think of a location in Major League Baseball that needs proprietary info more than them? More than the Colorado Rockies. They should be leading the charge in what works best for their pitching staff.
No, yeah. I had a friend who was deep in analytics that told me that that basically their park costs them, 7 to 8 wins a year. So if they want to be a 90-win team, they have to build a 98-win team.
Wow.
And so, that's a really difficult thing. And then on top of it, I've been asking around, with people I know that have worked with the Rockies in the past or worked for them. And there's a real, that sense that we know better.
Yeah.
Is actually
clearly.
It's as much of a problem as investment, because what they've done is they have invested, they have paid for directors of R&D and they've invested, quote unquote, in their R&D department. And what happened was those people came in, looked around, and then left in March and April, when people do not leave baseball jobs. If you're in a bad baseball job, you stick in it until October, September, when they hire again, and you jump to another job. These people, there were 2 directors of R&D, consecutive directors of R&D, that came in there, were hired, were told something, got on the field, got in there, and left in April. And so it's something is really rotten in Denmark over there, where they're just not open to new ideas.
Yeah.
They think they've got it figured out, and even if they're willing to invest, they're not doing the groundwork to be like, okay, we're actually going to listen to this guy.
Last thing for me, and Jeff Passan made the somewhat depressing suggestion that maybe the Pittsburgh Pirates should just trade Paul Skeens now, because they don't have any hope of building a winner around him before he becomes too expensive for them to keep. And he sadly has a kind of a point there. He says, I wouldn't actually do it. And Wood said, give the Pirates fans something to go watch. But if you are trying to build a team around him, I mean, would you consider trading Paul Skeens now if you were the Pirates? Does that make logical sense to you?
And when does the cycle end for the Pittsburgh Pirates then, if you trade Paul Skeens? When does the cycle end? You get new prospects in and you can't pay those, or you won't pay those?
Or one of them turns out to be a superstar, and then you trade him and cycle again.
When does it end?
Yeah, I mean, the big thing is this, he's not a free agent until 2030. If you're saying right now in 2025 that you can't build a team that can be competitive in the next 5 years, then how are you the GM?
Right.
So I think there's no way that this GM will do that. He has to feel enough of fire under his seat to know that he can't do that. That's not on the table. He probably, I don't know what he thinks. He might think he has 3 years to prove that he should still have a job. And so that's all during schemes. If I was running the Pittsburgh Pirates, I think I would just focus on the hitting program. There's something rotten. There's something not working with the hitting program. Guys that are high draft picks are coming in and striking out too much, or not hitting for power, or both. And Brian Hayes never took that step forward that they thought when they gave him that extension. And so there's just really the only real shining star that they have is O'Neal Cruz, and maybe Brian Reynolds, who's already starting to decline. So they need hitting help. They need it badly. They need to give someone the keys. What I think of is like Jason Ochart in Boston. They gave him the keys to the entire hitting program, and you've seen Christian Campbell, Roman Anthony. They're pumping out guys, and even on the lower end, they're taking guys that aren't really viable for the major leagues and making them viable. And the way they did that was they said, hey, you do what you want to do. You ask us for money, we will give it to you. You change this entire program. I've seen some of what happens in Pittsburgh. It's sort of piecemeal. Some guys were there from Huntington, some guys were there from Charrington, some guys who were second wave. It's like there's nobody who's like, I'm going to take this over and I'm going to make this mine, and they're going to give me all the resources I need.
Got several listeners on Twitter that could probably apply for the gig based on what I see on a nightly basis. We got some talented people out there.
Appreciate it. Run out of time. Thank you so much. We'll chat with you next week.
All right, thanks.
Thank you,
Smart
buddy.
Baseball with Eno Sarris. We still have 1 hour to go. We've got the list. Paulie's found the list of the easiest, best-paying jobs that you don't have to grind at all.
No grind.
No grind at all.
I can't wait for this. Allegedly.
And more. All coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by Robert Half. At Robert Half, they found that 67% of companies want to increase contract talent. That's why their recruiters' expertise and award-winning AI work quickly to find the skilled candidates you want. At Robert Half, they know talent. Visit roberthalf.com/talent today. They basically find people jobs.
They're looking to grind. Yeah, they're looking to grind.
Looking to find grinders who will be working for your company. And yeah, my contention that every job is a grind. Someone on our Facebook stream said, meteorologist in Southern California. That's a no grind job. I see how hard Megan Perry works at her job. Yeah, you're not changing your forecast a ton every day. It's nice. You know how hard it is to try to mix it up when you have 12 forecasts to do every night, and you got to make it interesting and entertaining. She did a whole piece on what causes like May Gray yesterday, the marine layer and the inversion and how it works with all these graphics she put together. I found it really interesting. She worked really hard. She grinded on that.
Yeah.
Worked really hard on it. It was very fascinating.
Yeah.
But she grinded.
Yeah, of course. I think everything is a grind. What do you got, Paulie?
So you found the list.
Yeah, we were talking about it in our 8 o'clock hour. I mean, I agree. Like even the high profile, fun, a movie star.
Oh yeah, dude.
That's a grind.
I read stories a lot. Like I was reading Josh Brolin's book recently, and he was talking about some of the shoots that he's had to go on. Good God. The No Country for Old Men. Bro, that was a grind. It was hot out in the middle of nowhere in the desert, not a lot of amenities, things like that. And
sitting in a makeup chair for 3 or 4 hours while they put special effects makeup on you. That's not fun.
They're not working in a coal mine.
No,
but
correct.
It's still a grind. That's our point. It may be easier than hanging drywall for 14 hours a day or whatever. But it is still, there are grindy aspects. So I just
Drew in the chat goes, sorry for the grind comment, everyone. This is your fault, pal.
Drew, thank you. You've given us an hour of material today. Come up with something else. Another comment for tomorrow's show.
Yes,
no game
tomorrow.
tonight.
No game tonight. So tomorrow's going to be a grind.
We're gonna have to
tell you that right now.
We're gonna have to.
I'm already sick to my stomach about it.
So I was trying to think during that segment in the 8 o'clock hour. I was like, all right, what are like the easiest jobs? And that's not like, I work once a month, once a week. Like an actual job that
pays you well enough.
The easiest that you can make an actual salary on. And this is from Indeed.com, a career advice page. And I just Googled, it says 10 simple, high-paying jobs with salaries and duties. We'll start with number 10. Duties. Number 10, it says massage therapist, $46,000 a year is the national average salary, 46 grand. Grindy?
Yeah.
By definition, they're grinding on your body.
Yes.
How quickly do you when Hannah asked, hey, can you give me a massage? How long before you really get tired of giving the massage? I've got 5 to 7 minutes
seconds.
In me tops.
Oh, I said 7 seconds.
Well, 7 seconds, whatever.
You can actually massage someone for 10 minutes.
I was going to say 10.
10 minutes. But you guys massage your wives for 10 minutes.
That's a long
2 nights ago.
That's a long stretch.
10 minutes?
All right.
That's a long time.
Massage therapist, think. I've got 5 90-minute sessions today to do. Yeah, that's not a grind. Oh my God.
Accounting clerk, $53,000 a year, national average salary.
Punching numbers in all day.
Grindy.
Accounting, grindy.
Hey, don't make a mistake either.
Yeah.
Groundskeeper, $54,000.
Hey, let's go do yard work for a living.
Every day.
Every day. All the guys are, the rains come, the snow comes. You have to. It's a grind.
You're part repairman. I think at that point you have to do minor repairs.
There's
stuff
a
like
good
that.
one here. JD says parking lot attendant. I don't know how much money you can make doing it, but there's a guy at my gym. This dude said I smell loose cannabis coming out of the booth.
He's cannabis.
Always watching his iPad. Doesn't seem like very grindy to me. He's actually sitting in there.
I promise you, there's a point where he goes,
is there though? Like he sits in there, he watches his iPad.
Is it air conditioned in there?
No.
Hot day, all day in a little booth.
Yeah.
Can't leave.
Number 7 on this list, roofer.
Roofer?
They said this is under their simple, high-paying jobs.
I mean, maybe if you're an inmate at Shawshank, it's nice to get away from the cell for a few days.
Yes,
to tar the
roof.
Of the old license
you get
plate factory,
trade it in for a Bohemia, nice ice cold Bohemia beer. What in the world? A roofer? Wow. Okay.
Number 6, claims adjuster.
Terrible.
Make a little over $63,000 a year.
What is a claims adjuster?
It's when
you adjust
something
the claims.
happens, a tree falls on your house. Guys got to come out, take a look, assess the damage. And then you got the people that own the house there wearing you out. You know, they want more. You don't want to give more.
Your boss
is
at the
is up
insurance
your
company.
Yep. That's a grind.
This one says number 5, chauffeur, $65,000 a year, national average salary.
I mean, I hate to drive. I really don't like to drive very much. So that would be a grind that I have to get in the car, traffic, put up with some diva like Ben in the back.
Chauffeur would be added stress to driving because you've also got someone you have to please in the back of your car.
You can't whip through the lanes like you normally would. You have to keep their safety into account. Huge grind.
I would agree. Where are we at? Number 4, customer service representative.
This is the dumbest.
Are you
list I
kidding
have
me?
ever heard.
That is an easy job. Nothing but complaints from people all day. And you're saying that's not a grind.
That's what they're saying.
Hey, I'm calling customer service. Yeah, I just wanted to say how much I
Great
love
job.
my product.
Yeah,
and just
you guys are so
really
good.
is fantastic. You guys are the best. Thank you so much.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Not a single call like that all day long.
Number 3, dispatcher. The national average salary, just under $69,000 a year.
You're just dispatching.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sending people.
Working in a central location usually.
Sitting at a desk and answering phones. Can be a little bit monotonous, certainly, which monotony tends
I think monotony leads into grinding.
into grinding.
Absolutely.
Monotony is definitely grinding.
100%.
Number two and number 1, they're absolutely grinds. Number 2 is sales rep.
It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had.
$76,000 a year.
It's one of the hardest jobs I've ever had.
I mean, I guess if you have no qualms about calling people randomly, which to me is like one of the biggest nightmares you can think of.
Interrupting their day and
strangers
annoying them.
randomly.
I can do it in my sleep, but it is not.
Can't.
I'm really good.
I can't
on the
really
phone.
even call people I do.
You
know.
don't even talk to anybody
I
on the
can't
phone.
do it
You're
at all.
You're one of the
That would
worst
be-
phone people I've ever met.
That would be one of the grindiest jobs I could imagine.
Hey Ben, yep, yeah, sure, yep. Ben, like we have this huge thing about yeah, sure. I'm like, what am I catching him doing when I call you every time? Oh, yep.
Oh my god.
Yeah, have I ever caught you in the middle? Because it feels like it. Yeah. Rushing me off the phone. It's incredibly difficult to
Not
sell
easy.
things.
Yeah.
Last one.
Number 1. National average salary of $96,000 a year. Pretty good money.
Pay. Yeah.
Truck driver.
It's like the biggest grind of all time.
But,
just long
but you're
stretches.
just sitting in a truck driving.
Long stretches. The thing is 100 feet long. It's weaving back and forth. You're going uphill at 36 miles an hour. Everyone's trying to pass you. You have weight. You have to sleep in the cab. You have to shower at Buc-ee's. I'm out.
Back problems. Just inherent with the job.
Oh, man. Truck driving is... I have so much respect for those guys.
What long stretches away from home.
Yeah.
Like stressed about your family because
Yeah.
you're gone from them the whole day.
It would be one of the biggest grinds of all time. All time. I'm trying to think of anything that's just not. That you would just get out of bed every day.
And
be
Mickey says zookeeper would be amazing. Yeah, except
until you get
when
your face
like,
ripped off by an
the
orangutan.
animals are sick and
Yeah. You have to put them down.
you gotta see what they ate in their
Tony says,
their droppings
how
or
about-
something. Yeah.
Yes, in their droppings. Tony says, how about an usher at Petco's? Just walking upstairs all day. Drunken idiot fans. Barber would be stressful. Grinding on your feet all day. Man, that's tough.
Every single snip you could get someone's ear.
Or
That's all I'd be
ruin
thinking
their
of.
lives. Ruin their lives.
Ray says astronaut. How often do you really go to space? Good point.
Kind of a grind to get there. But I don't know.
You train years and years and years, and your actual job you get to do for 4 days.
Here's one. Dog sitter. That's not that much of a grind. House sitting. No, forget dog sitter. House sitting
sitter.
is the ultimate job.
All right.
Ultimate. The least grind. I figured it out. House sitting.
Can you make a living on that?
I think you can. If you run in the right circles, Paulie. House sitting is great. Oh, you turn the lights on, you get my mail, you watch my big TV, eat my delicious food. Here's a bunch of cash. That's it. Make sure the house doesn't fall down. That's your only job. Sleep. I would be an elite house sitter. I house sit my house every day. I would be so good at it. Pool boy would be very stressful. Grinding chemicals, and it's not like the fantasies, Keegan. Trust me, I have plenty of friends that have been pool boys. Not one of them. Not one of them. Not one of them have experienced what you're thinking. Not one. What? I have 2 friends that own pool companies. I've asked them before. Hey, has there ever been a no chance? There have been things that have happened, but it was like the experience of going to a nude beach. It wasn't what you really wanted to see, but it was there.
Oh, it's just here to clean the pool.
Never mind. I didn't want to see this.
Sorry, sir.
Yep. I think we figured it out. Bartender, no. Extremely stressful and grindy. Oh, God. Horrible.
Just wait until 4 drink orders come in at the same time. A Mai Tai,
how about
a Tom Collins. Like, oh no, that's panic inducing.
I thought you were going to say wait till 4 a.m. when you're getting into bed.
That's true too.
You know, after being on your feet all night, you're covered in triple sec and margarita mix. You're like, this is great. I'm really counting out your ones. You're like, super. Many times. Many times. That's good. That's a good segment. Thank you, Drew, for that. But I think we have determined that house sitting is truly the only job that's not a grind.
Right.
I mean, can you make $100,000 doing it? Again, if you run in the right circles, I think you absolutely. If you're like the Padres official house sitter, you're good. Manny dukes you out. They all go out at the same time, so you're kind of screwed. Well, you can hit 3 or 4.
You just hop from one house to another as they go on their off-season vacations, or they're in season, they're out of town, and you're just house sitting constantly all year long, making good money, just to make sure the house doesn't
fall down. That's it. It's your only good.
Right. I can sort of see that might be the least grindy job.
Professional
possible.
video game players. I'm going to put that. Somebody else earlier said content creators. I would say that's a massive grind.
Massive. How do I make today? I don't have a job, so I have to create this content. That's a massive grind to figure out how to do it and be compelling.
Set up
every
the
single
lighting on every single one of these shoots.
If you're a big content creator, you got deliverables, you got brands to mention. It's absolutely a grind.
Yeah, no doubt.
Fun. It can be fun.
Can be fun.
Sure,
yeah, make money doing it. Still think maybe I'll start a house sitting business. I'm sure my wife would love that. Well, I'm out for the week. I'm off to Coronado to watch Crony's house.
Stephen Woods, pool boy and house sitting aficionado.
And house sitter. Yeah. All in. I would, a little side gig wouldn't hurt. House sitting, and you get to experience new places, other people's homes. I'd be nervous they're looking through my stuff, though, because they do.
The house sitter.
Oh, yeah.
Because you would.
Because I
if you were the house sitter.
Absolutely.
That's why you are not a house sitter.
Exactly right.
Yeah, I always have to worry that they set up a security camera because they can. It's their own home.
They'll get you.
Yeah. So you got to be careful. All right. We still have some Padres tickets to give away. We'll do that in our next segment. So stay tuned. Your chance to win tickets to tomorrow night's game, opening of the Vetter Cup. Padres and Mariners. It's also the Party at the Park, presented by Southwest Airlines. Will give you your chance to win. Then a Reindl Report coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. First, though, Woods and I want to tell you about trust and will. We're talking about grinding. I think stress is something that makes every job feel a little grindy. Trust and will is designed to help take away some of your stress about what happens to your family if something should happen to you. We always think about it. Now, this is a way to get a little bit of peace of mind by doing a simple online Q&A session.
Yeah, you get a lot of peace of mind, actually, and was embarrassed, as I've said before, that when I had my kids, I didn't think about doing this. I did think about it. I just didn't do it. I was lazy. That was it. Trust and Will made it so easy. Went to trustandwill.com. Use the code FAN when you check out, FAN. You're going to get 20% off, and they're going to ship you your documents for free. After that, throw them in the desk. Let people know where they are, and then the peace of mind is there. You never have to worry about it again, unless you want to update it, and you can absolutely go in and amend things as you go, but they make it so easy. Just go to trustandwill.com.
Yeah, benefits include avoiding probate court and the costs and time that is involved for your family, or you simply want to just leave some stuff, specific stuff to people. You can do that with a simple will, all by going to trustandwill.com. That's trustandwill.com.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Hamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Hamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
First round of the second major of the golf season underway. Isn't exactly a star-studded leaderboard at the moment. Ryan Fox, Alex Smalley, JT Poston, Steven Yeager, and Luke Donald co-leading at 4 under par.
Just what you want in a major.
If you're a TV executive, it is not.
Correct. Or a fan of golf.
You got to get home and tune into that.
Yes.
The marquee grouping, top 3 players in the world, Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Xander Schauffele. Scheffler even through 13. Rory 2 over through 13.
Wow.
Xander 2 over through 13.
Where's Bryson at?
Bryson has not teed off. He's in the afternoon wave, I believe. So a lot of golf still to be played. I don't think anyone's totally out of it yet, but except for maybe Phil Mickelson, who's 6 over, but not considered a major contender at this point. Meanwhile, baseball news, the Dodgers, you talked about your theory that they are basically, I don't want to say fake putting guys on the injured list. I mean, Roki Sasaki is definitely hurt.
It was literally my idea at the beginning of the year when they signed Blake Snell and, Kershaw was coming back and he'll be back this weekend. It was my idea. I said, like, if you're the Dodgers, you have 12 deep in your starting rotation. What's the impetus to run these guys? Why do you need Tyler Glass now pitching a game, Ben, against the Rockies in May? You don't. You need Tyler Glass now in September, October. That's what you pay him a fortune for. You don't need Blake Snell, who is a traditionally slow starter. My funny line, and I don't want to call myself funny, but what I said, if I was Andrew Friedman, gentlemen, enjoy the rest of your summer. I will see you guys August 1st. Get your throwing in, get your running in, make sure you're lifting and eating properly, take care of your bodies. I don't need you now. We can win these games with our 3 MVPs at the top, with all of the talent we have. I don't need you guys running out there in April and May. I just don't.
I actually see a lot of validity to what you're saying, and I'm sure, as Eno said, probably impacts their thinking in terms of no need to rush anyone.
Oh,
back.
yeah.
You can be extra cautious with everybody.
They are living the abundance of caution right now.
And you mentioned Kershaw coming back, but one of I think the biggest challenges, the 1% problem, as it were, for the Dodgers is you still have to manage a 40-man roster.
Right.
And you can't put everybody on the 60-day injured list, and you only have so many roster spots, which is why you've seen the Dodgers already have to DFA a number of players, and they did it yesterday.
Yeah.
When they DFA'd actually their longest running player.
Yep.
From the major league squad, backup catcher Austin Barnes. How long has he been there? Like
11 years.
Over a decade.
Yep.
And just unceremoniously got the heave-ho in favor of one of their top prospects, Dalton Rushing, who's going to come up and make his debut. Austin Barnes is certainly no great shakes as an aging catcher at this point who's backed up Will Smith for many years. But is he an upgrade over what the Padres are putting up at backup catcher at this point?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Just checking.
Also, he's a spy, so I will pass on another spy.
I get that.
In this organization.
I get that.
I'm sorry. You don't just
His
change.
loyalties.
Dude.
Yeah, his OPS is only 518.
Right.
Yeah, I'm okay. Yeah.
He blocks well. He blocks the ball well. That's all he does. He doesn't throw guys out ever. He doesn't frame very well. He doesn't his bad pop time. He doesn't hit. And he's a spy. I'll pass on grass
hit
every day.
264 last year.
Yeah, this ain't last year. This is this year.
1 homer, 11 runs batted in. Woods.
I'm good. I'm good
too.
I do not. El Carlos says, he thinks we're in a baseball Cold War. You don't? Open your eyes, buddy. Open your eyes. Matt Beatty, I'm convinced he was sending intel across the way to Los Angeles. I'm convinced of it. Couldn't be as bad as he was when he was here. You couldn't possibly be as bad of a player as he was without wanting, I'd be a little nervous if I was the Tigers. And they have Jack Flaherty. I'd be a little nervous if you face them in the World Series or in an interleague. I'd be a little nervous. I'd be watching that guy like a hawk. You think with it we're not in a Cold War? We absolutely are.
The interesting thing about Barnes is
he's nothing.
He was always
literally nothing.
He was always Kershaw's personal catcher, and they get rid of him just as Kershaw is making his return.
Yeah,
basically, like, hey, Kirk Clayton, don't get used to it. In fact, we're not even going to give you him once.
No,
you're not going to be working with Austin Barnes anymore.
They brought up Dalton Rushing, who's he's their Ethan Salas, except he hits. But he's
much older.
He is, but he's good. He's a good catcher, and
his back is also not broken.
That's true. They did say so. They've been working him in the outfield a lot in the minor leagues because he's. They're like, we've got Will Smith and we're locked down. So, we like flexibility. You guys know the Dodgers like to keep their players flexible and things like that. But I think DR said yesterday they're going to just catch him a couple times a week right now and get his bat in the lineup. He's a good hitter. He's got all the tools. So we're now every time they bring one of these guys up, it's like, all right, now I have a new guy to hate watch, but he's a good player. He is a good player. And yeah, man, they're going kind of a little bit with the youth movement right now, which I think that's a scary thing for the San Diego Padres. I do. You don't want that team getting younger and more athletic. Loved it. I loved Austin Barnes on the Dodgers. You know why? I mean, he hit pretty well against us, but it's Austin Barnes. I'll take my chances.
It would be fun to criticize the Dodgers, poke fun at them for just being a bunch of aging guys who are falling over the hill and they're about to go off a cliff, but that's really not who they are.
They have, I mean, again, their future as bright as anyone's. Yeah, as their present. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly right. So they've done a good job, but I think honestly, I do think that my point has a little bit of validity, and I'll tell you why. When you look at the list, the guy named Noah Camras, he has a blogger or whatever, he tweets out the updated injury list. And every day you see it, they add a new pitcher to it. This is just pitchers only. And it's 18 deep. and you see it and you go, wow. And of course, you go read what the fans say. Now, the fan reaction is this: we got to get rid of our training staff. We have to. This is an epidemic, and it very well may be. But you know what's giving me pause? Jeff Passan, who spent the offseason telling us and me and my DMs just how smart they are, hasn't said a word. Ken Rosenthal, who is a paid shill, has not said a word about this rash of Dodger injuries. John Heyman. Go down the list. None of these guys are writing, Eno Sarris, none of these guys are writing think pieces on what's wrong with the Dodgers.
There's a reason for it. Despite the massive rash of injuries, their current rotation, as constructed the next 5 games, starting yesterday, Yamamoto,
he pitched yesterday,
Gonsolin, May, Kershaw, and Knack.
Right.
It's pretty much a rotation that
anybody would take.
Any other team in baseball would take.
Yep.
They would take the Dodgers, like 4th through 9th starters who they're throwing right now, and pretty much go, yeah, we'll go with what they've got, despite all their injuries.
Yep.
They are injury proof.
Pretty much.
Which is what we said at the beginning of the year.
Pretty much.
The great strength of the Dodgers.
But again, they also have an elite lineup, right? They have the lineup can buy their way into a lot of wins with the lineup that they put on the field.
Right.
With the superstars.
They're going to
They're gonna score
9-7,
8, 9, 10 runs twice a week at least.
No doubt.
Yeah.
But again, it does surprise me that I have not seen one article that says what's going on. There's something rotten in Denmark, as said earlier, about these 18 guys. Now, some of it can be attributed to a lot of these guys shredded their arms to win a World Series last year. I tip my hat to those guys. That was incredible. Job well done. Some of them are precautionary, and some of them may actually be hurt. But this is not a new phenomenon. This is they buy in bulk, but they buy in bulk at the top of the market. Right? They buy 4 really, really good pitchers. And if 2 of them can withstand it, that's fine. We can live without the other 2 until they come back. The only problem I think they're going to have, Ben, is if everybody gets healthy-ish around the same time, what do you do then? What do you do then? You have too much good stuff.
You will at some point.
At some point, but that's a really, really good problem to have if you're the Dodgers. But I do think there's validity to load management in L.A. I think they are absolutely managing loads in LA. Nobody manages loads better than the LA Dodgers.
All right, your opportunity right now. We got 2 tickets for tomorrow's Padres game against the Mariners to win. 5th caller, 833-288-0973. Start dialing right now.
Yeah.
Start your weekend at San Diego's biggest happy hour party in the park, presented by Southwest Airlines, with $5 drink specials and live music before the game. Tickets available at Padres.com/tickets. There go the phone lines. 833-288-0973. Paul, you'll get our winner, and then he'll come back with the Reindl Report, final headlines, before we head over to the roundtable in our sound space at 10 o'clock. All ahead on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. GEGE 000-466. For a full list of games and rules, played at 7 Mile Casino. Visit 7milecasino.com.
All right, weekend coming up in just a couple of days. How about this? Make a plan to head to 7 Mile Casino. Here's how you do it on a Saturday. Get there sometime after 9 a.m. Enjoy the brunch at Sammy's, voted best in the South County. Sit on the patio. Enjoy the San Diego weather and sunshine as you look over towards San Diego Bay and Coronado. Then come back inside. You'll have a bunch of games on televisions while you sit down at one of their fantastic card tables, California-style blackjack, Texas Hold'em poker, Pai Gow, or Baccarat. Stay for a couple hours, however you want, win some money, and have a great weekend day.
Yeah, I mean, you pretty much summed it all up, Benny. I mean, the best part, though, just 7 minutes from downtown San Diego. Great place to go. Great people, friendly dealers. It's bright. It's airy. It's not dingy. It's not dark. You don't feel like you're doing something wrong.
Good if you're a casual. Good if you're a serious card player as well. High limit action. They are spreading it at 7 Mile Casino.
Oh.
They've got your games that you're looking for with a little more juice to them, as it were.
We'll let you keep going. Just check it out for yourself.
What is happening?
I don't know. 7 Mile Casino, just 7 minutes from downtown.
Hey players, things are about to get real here in San Diego. Introducing the all-new Jamul Casino Resort. With a 200-room hotel tower, exciting new eats and drinks, plenty of new places to play, and a luxe spa and salon. Hello, rooftop pool and deck. It's where players can play their hearts out and enjoy all the perks that come with it. It gets real this summer at the all-new Jamul Casino Resort, the players' place.
Congratulations to Natasha, who won the Padres tickets. Thank you, everybody, for calling in. I always wish we had more pairs to give away, but enjoy the game tomorrow night as the Padres and Mariners open their 3-game Vetter Cup Series. Stephen Kolek on the mound. We can talk more about the matchup tomorrow, Woods, but Stephen Kolek looking for to continue his scoreless inning streak to begin his season after 2 performances without allowing a run so far.
Against his old team, by
right?
the way.
That's how the Padres stole him in the Rule 5 draft from the Seattle Mariners in the 2024 offseason at the winter meetings. And now that decision seems to be paying some fruits.
So far, so good. Yeah,
so
far, so good.
We can talk more about that tomorrow. Got the roundtable coming up at the top of the hour. But next, Paulie Reindl will get us some final headlines in the Reindl Report after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 855 Get Ross Traffic Center, protecting San Diego after accidents or injury, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Eliminate Termite, the orange oil experts. Got a few problems wrapping up our morning drive. One is this collision on westbound King Freeway just before 28th Street. Emergency crews on scene. They got that right lane blocked in. Looks like they've had to block the 28th Street on-ramp to westbound King Freeway to clear that. Eastbound 8, just before El Cajon Boulevard, reports of a stalled car in the center divide. Tow truck is rolling up to assist with that. Got somebody risking their life changing a tire on the transition ramp south on 163 to the westbound 52 connector. It's over the right shoulder of that connector. Very narrow right shoulder, so take it extra carefully south 163 to the west 52. And you might notice a lot of people out there on bicycles today. Yeah, it is Bike Anywhere Day, so good idea to just be extra careful, extra alert out there. Have termites? Eliminate Termite inspects, treats, and repairs termite damage, all with a full structural warranty. Their orange oil treatment is safe for people, pets, and the planet. No tent, no move out. Protect your home naturally. Schedule a free inspection at eliminatetermite.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul. All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report.
Hey, Paul, how you doing? Okay, how are you?
On 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right. All right.
All right.
Good morning, my friends.
Hi, Paulie.
Let's get you caught up on a couple of sports we haven't really talked about today. We'll start in the NBA. Some good games last night. Celtics staved off elimination. They beat the Knicks. They crushed the Knicks 127-102. I don't know how many people thought it would be a blowout, at least. Maybe you had Celtics winning at home, but after that Jason Tatum season-ending injury the other night.
Kind of left him for dead, man.
Yeah, and I guess you can look at it 2 ways. It can either be a morale booster and you're going to rally together like they did, or you go down in flames. The Boston Celtics did win, so New York still has a 3-2 series lead with Game 6 coming up on, I believe they play on Friday night.
I'll tell you what, the Knicks will likely win the series, but Boston could still win this series without Jason Tatum. if they make their 3-pointers. They're such a 3-point heavy team. They made 22 of them.
So you're telling me that
yesterday
the Knicks could win, but also the Celtics could win?
No. I mean, the Knicks are
because that's what it sounded
the
like.
The Knicks are favored for good reason,
right?
But don't just assume Boston can't win this without Jason Tatum.
Yeah, I mean, last night's pretty good indicator.
They're like so reliant on the 3-pointer that probably one of the next 2 games without Tatum, they're going to not make enough threes and they're going to lose. But if they happen to be hot like they were last night, they'll beat anybody, even without Tatum. So it's not over.
Ray says if the Celtics score more points,
I think they
could get it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
they could.
I like that analysis. I'm going to start doing that.
Right.
If the Padres could win tomorrow, or the Mariners could win. It depends on who scores more runs.
Yeah, if the Padres score more runs, they should win.
Yeah, they should.
But
they might not. No, they
Mariners
will.
might score more runs.
But they might. I like that. It makes our job.
Makes our job. I do have a point here. That
I know you said
shooting
if the Celtics,
a great equalizer.
He said the Celtics could win this series, but the Knicks could also win. It's the beauty of sports, I think. John Smoltz over here.
And then in the Western Conference,
I'm not making fun of you. I'm making fun of us, sports people.
Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves are bringing their ass to the Western Conference Finals. They beat the Warriors yesterday, finished that series off 4-1. Warriors really didn't stand a chance after Steph Curry went down in game 1, right? Like early in game 1, he was done. So he was not able to make it back. And
who do they play?
They are going
Pacers?
to play on. No, they play the winner of the Nuggets Thunder.
Quickwoods, when do you think the last time the Minnesota Timberwolves made the conference finals was? Like ballpark.
I thought were they fairly good recently? No KG days? I have no idea.
Last year.
Oh, no idea. No
It's
clue.
the second straight year there.
I know. Was Ant there? Yeah.
No,
Yeah,
he
that
made it
makes
last
sense.
year too.
That's what he told Chuck to bring his ass.
Oh, that's it. That was from that.
I said, you know what? I might have to get out to Minnesota and watch a game. Bring your ass.
It's just one of those you kind of think about it and go, yeah, they must not have been there in a long time.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, they were there last year. Same with Indiana. It's like, oh, Pacers, they got to the conference final. They must not have been there. No, they were there last year too. They lost to the Celtics.
Yeah, so they will play the Timberwolves will play the winner of the Thunder Denver Nuggets series. That goes tonight, just one game in the NBA at 5:30 on ESPN. Oklahoma City has a 3-2 series lead. It's on the road in Denver in altitude.
I saw they still OKC has by far the biggest odds still of winning the finals.
Yeah.
Even though they haven't even gotten through this series yet.
They haven't
and have a
played
tough game
well.
tonight. They could be facing a game 7 still in this series. And yet they're like minus 140, I saw, to win the NBA finals, and every other team was like plus 400, plus 600, plus 800.
Who do you like? Who are you looking
favorites.
at going, these guys, people are not sleeping on them because they're, but like Minnesota, is that one you look at and you go, these guys could absolutely win the
they're a
title.
fun team. I got a couple of friends that are big Timberwolves fans.
I'm asking because I want to put down a long shot bet.
I would like to see
if you want a long shot bet where you can get the best price, Pacers.
Pacers
is the team. Yeah.
And there's belief that they could do it.
Oh, yeah. They could, and no one's going to think they can, but they can. Now, they'll be underdogs if they get there to either probably the Timberwolves or the Thunder, but they could win the series.
I think I would love to watch Knicks Timberwolves probably would be my NBA Finals matchup. I like
Brunson and Ant. That would be fun. Yeah,
that would be a fun one to watch. And I don't know. I don't hate the Knicks. I don't hate New York.
Yeah,
I've never liked Boston.
Yeah,
I never have.
They've had enough. Plenty.
Basketball,
plenty there.
Big NBA Finals game at at Madison Square Garden.
Pretty sick.
That's fun. I'm rooting for that. In hockey, we'll move over to hockey. We had 2 games last night. Florida Panthers beat the Maple Leafs 6-1. Wow. Pretty bad. They have a 3-2 series lead in that one. And Edmonton, they shut out the Golden Knights, winning 1-0 in overtime.
That's series, right?
Nothing
That's
in overtime.
the end of the series.
Yeah, they
go
won
out
4-1
on an overtime on one goal and give it up in overtime. And Vegas' season is over.
My Dallas Stars can close it out. What, tonight?
Tonight at 6:30.
Tonight at 6:30.
Yep, they got a 3-1 series lead over Winnipeg. Before that, tonight in the hockey, you've got the Hurricanes and the Capitals. Carolina has a 3-1 series lead. Puck drops at 4:00 on TNT. True TV, or Max.
So Edmonton's the great hope for Canada. It's been like decades since they've won a Stanley Cup in Canada, and Edmonton's still carrying the torch for the Canadians.
And then that brings me, like I just said, you can watch those hockey matches on TNT, True TV, or Max.
I might be watching my Stars on Max. There's no Padres game tonight.
Now I'm saying Max, but I'm going to have to change that here in a few months to back to HBO Max. So I don't know exactly when they made the change originally.
It's like 5 years ago.
It wasn't that long.
It wasn't that long ago.
I mean, streaming alone hasn't been around for that long, but it used to be HBO. And then it was HBO Max. They, the conglomerates, they buy other networks, Cinemax, and they went with HBO Max. I remember like the purple background with the white letters. And then all of a sudden they just said, we're going to go with Max. And I feel like that was fairly recently. And it was announced yesterday that HBO is going back to HBO Max. They're just flip-flopping. They can't settle on a name. Why they ever removed the HBO from their name was a little bit beyond me. It sounds like, and they might even own it, but like Coca-Cola buying Tab soda. It's not Tab Coca-Cola. Like, lead with the brand that everybody knows.
Yes, HBO. Huge brand. Been around forever.
Brand name. Maybe the most prestigious brand name in television.
Spencer says almost a year ago it became just Max. Yeah, I remember it. I remember going to search for the app in my phone and typing in HBO.
Yes.
So now
they're going back
to HBO Max. Why the constant?
Why did they ever leave in the first place? HBO was the
brand.
An established. We had HBO legend Jim Lampley in.
We did
last week, and he talked about the most prestigious television outlet in the world, HBO. They built that over decades, and then just.
I heard it was one guy.
Gave it up.
I heard like one guy, this kind of control freak CEO type, came in and started throwing his weight around. But Adam says they changed it to supposedly broaden their appeal beyond HBO. Does that really do it?
What doesn't HBO appeal to?
Broadening the appeal beyond HBO, then you take HBO out of the name.
Right.
So does that make it more broad, or do you I don't know. I don't know how branding works.
Well, like Cinemax had more appeal than HBO.
Well, Cinemax had way more appeal to some of us. Somebody just mentioned old Skinemax, as we called it back in the day. Boy, old Gary Woods sure loved those Cinemax free weekends. I'll tell you that right now. And the HBO free weekends. I told you the guy would run down to Best Buy, buy 7,000 cassettes, tape every movie known to man. Label that you'd get what? You get about 4 movies on a tape? Like 3?
I don't know. Could you get?
Yeah, you could get multiples.
Really?
Oh,
Depends
yeah.
on which kind of tape you were
100%. He probably got the most.
Biggest.
And then you're watching Who's Harry Crumb and HBO free weekend. HBO. Awesome.
Got that slight warble on
the warble on the tape. Bro, you want to talk about the Super Bowl for him? Is those free weekends. I mean,
some of my favorite stories you've ever told on this show.
And I would bet you guys anything. He just got rid of the tapes years ago, but I bet you I gotta remember to dig up the list. The yellow pad, 40-page legal yellow pad. 1, Top Gun, Die Hard, 2. Whatever it was, and he would just go
so damn
nuts.
Funny.
He would stay up. I'd wake up and be like, "What are you doing up?" He's like, "I got to stay up. I got to record this or whatever." It's freaking great, dude. It was truly his Super Bowl. And then
if I don't have my own recording of a fish named Wanda,
yes, I gotta have it. I gotta have it, man. I mean, it was.
He just puts off all
everything
work and family
life.
responsibilities.
No golf that weekend, no, because he'd pour over the. This is TV Guide day, so he'd pour over the TV Guide and he'd highlight what he wanted, and then map out his thing.
6 o'clock, Pretty Woman.
Yeah, Pretty Woman, and he would sit and he would wait, and he wouldn't waste any time. So the movie would end, and he'd stop it. Wait for the next one. Record Top Gun on that.
Lethal Weapon
2. Bro, it's my favorite. This is my favorite stories about my dad. It truly is. And then, but it was cool because
what do we talk? What time frame here? 80s.
87
Late
through
80s,
90.
yeah.
So 87 through 90. It's like,
HBO
what
was-
is it, $1 a month? He's like, no, I'm not doing that.
HBO was still just movies, right? Like they didn't really get into like shows.
No, it was all movies.
Yeah,
until
just
like
movies.
late '90s.
I mean, it was all movies. It was just movie.
What
after
was the
movie.
first,
Hey, Strange Brews coming on.
It
All right.
wasn't the first one, but like Sex and the City, was one of
Sopranos.
yeah, those were some of the early hit shows
Yeah.
for HBO.
But it was straight movies, and this cat would get in and he'd have his thing plotted out. And it usually went from Friday to
Sunday night, yeah.
And that whole weekend, you're like, oh, Dad's at it again. And he'd be like, I got 14 brand new movies. It was
Arliss,
so
one of the
good.
first shows.
Yeah,
That's a
Arliss.
good one there, Nate.
Yep.
Yeah, good memory.
It says here, just a quick Google search. Oz was
Oh,
1997. That was like their first dramatic
Oz.
series.
I remember I was in college.
So 97, yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly right, man. It killed me. And the list, but you'd go to the list and you'd say, all right, I want to watch. Lethal Weapon 2. Love Lethal Weapon 2. All right, 14. That's on tape 14. And it's just after Great Outdoors.
The reason
Put it in, fast forward, and then boom, free weekend. And here we go. Lethal Weapon 2.
The reason I ask about the television shows because if it was in that time frame, like let's say The Sopranos was airing on HBO, I mean, how many tapes would it take to record the whole series of these shows? It would take him forever, first of all.
Well, he'd never do it because they're not going to give you the whole weekend for free.
Yeah.
So he honestly, I'd be like, for years, I'd go, Dad, have you seen The Sopranos yet? No. Why? Well, we don't have HBO. I'm like, get HBO. Just get it. It's $6 extra. Get HBO. You're missing this great show. So then comes out, Christmas one year. I buy him the DVD Sopranos. Check back in a year. You watch it yet? No, not yet. I'm like, he likes to collect. He doesn't actually use them. He just is a hoarder of movies. He wants to know he's got them if he needs them.
Oh, Carlos says, I like how opposite Woods is from his dad. Woods, he paying $300 for an oil change while his dad doing everything.
Why do you think
to
I am
save
this
a
way?
dollar.
El Carlos, this is why. Because this is how I grew up. My man, at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday, staying up late to record Pretty Woman. This is exactly why I'm like, screw it. Just rent it, download it, whatever you want to
He
do.
gets into the office on Monday morning with just black eyes.
What'd you do this weekend? Oh, I was just up recording. You know how I do. Oh, it was so good, man.
Building my movie store.
We will be back tomorrow at 6 a.m. with Paulie. Paulie's not going to be on the round table today. We do have Tony Gwynn
Have
Jr.
fun, boys.
and crew joining us in the sound space in just a couple of minutes. So we will see you then. Everyone else, have a great rest of your day. Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.